Sleepy town settling for the night, where every lawn is tailored just right. And it's about time that the back porch light comes on. At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street.
On set, I saw you added a lot, and I saw a little surprise at the end that I didn't look too hard at, but it looked beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've been talking about that for like 2 months now, and I finally was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I should probably add that.
I'm excited. I want to print mine out.
It's kind of outdated. I probably should make a new one because I made that before like all this casting news dropped.
Yeah.
And like half of those are already like obsolete duds. Like, already can't scratch them out. So
let's start anew. That's fine.
Hey, witch, hey.
Hey, witch, hey.
I'm Justina.
I'm Kristina.
Welcome to Magnolia Street, your one and only musically inspired practical magic fandom podcast.
Every week we deep dive on different aspects of the movie and the books, as well as treat your ears to our very own practical magic inspired original music. In today's episode, we're stirring the cauldron with the latest news from the upcoming Practical Magic 2 film. The long-awaited sequel is officially in the works, and the casting announcements are rolling in faster than ever.
Oh, I meant to put something there like faster than, I don't know, like Jimmy's dead body decomposing in the garden.
Faster than Jimmy's body rolling into the ditch.
Yeah, we're sharing everything we know so far, like who's in, who's out, our theories on who's playing who, where the story might be headed, and, dare we say it, a royal snub that has left the entire fandom gasping their gusps.
Yeah, you must be referring to that very notable absence that has us raising our collective eyebrows and asking, how could they leave her out?
Yeah, you know it, and boy, do we have thoughts. We've got feelings, we've got theories, we've got hot takes for days, and we're gonna get into all of that and more in just a second.
So light your candles, grab a midnight margarita, no matter the time, and let's dive into the magic of Practical Magic 2.
So before we get started today, we just want to give some shout outs to some new listeners. We have at standout.hair over on Instagram who says, I recently moved to a new city to open up a witchy occult shop hair salon, and your podcast makes me feel so much less lonely, like I have two best friends whom I never met. So glad I discovered you guys. I thought I was the only one with this obsession on this book and movie. Can't wait for Practical Magic 2.
That is so sweet. That's really nice to hear that, like, we're just your buddies hanging out with you.
Yeah, just some best friends, and good luck with your witchy occult shop hair salon. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, let us know what it's called.
Yeah.
Where are you?
And we have at Lucius Ferre, who says, hello, ladies. I've just started your podcast while working on some projects, and I'm completely enchanted. Practical Magic cast its spell on me at age 11, weaving New England folklore and magic into my path. That film was more than whimsy, it was a calling. Now, as an initiated priest in a hereditary line of traditionalist witchcraft, I recognize how deeply Hoffman's work echoes real folk ways and women's magical wisdom. I'm excited to keep listening. As the aunts say, flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Warmly, Lucius.
That is sweet. I love that name.
I love getting this listener feedback and like letters and like little love notes from people who just start listening, who have been listening for a while. Like, it's always so fun to know who's listening, you know, because it's just us two chatting here all the time. Like, we don't know. We're in our own little bubble until we hit the publish button over on Spotify and then people comment. It's just nice to know that people are listening and like people love this movie as much as we do.
I know. Yeah, it's easy to forget sometimes because we're so into like take the notes, record the show, edit the show, publish the show. But when this stuff comes in, it's a really nice exclamation point to what we're trying to do. So thank you.
Reminder as to why we're doing what we're doing, you know?
Yeah, it's not just us.
People want to hear other people, I guess, gush about it for hours on end, you know? Mm-hmm. So let's rewind a bit because this casting news technically dropped a few weeks ago, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet because, well, my life has been the literal tower card this past month.
Yeah. When she says tower card, she means floods, Chaos, emotional damage, and yeah, her car nearly getting sacrificed to the storm gods themselves.
Listen, I've been having myself a nice little Jet 2 holiday.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available, with 22 kilograms of baggage included.
Darling, hold my hand. I was literally a goner, declared a loss by insurance. I was 2 midnight margaritas away from casting a resurrection spell, but luckily I got a nice little chunk of change to bring my little Jimmy Mobile back from the dead.
Yeah, so relieved to hear that. And I thought you were going to have to start riding around town with your little mouse ears all liquored up on your broomstick.
Missed opportunity. But we're back, witches, and even though the news is a few weeks old, you know we couldn't stay silent about all this. You've been waiting for our hot takes and our theories and our slightly unhinged spirals into the Owens verse.
So let's throw it back to the beginning of July and dive in.
On July 11th at 7 a.m., Deadline.com dropped this article titled, Diane Wiest and Stalker Channing returning for Practical Magic 2! But then it also said, Lee Pace, Maisie Williams, Zolo Maraduena, and Sally McLeod also set. So this article was written by Matt Grobar for Deadline.com, and the title image is the cast. Diane Wiest, Stalker Channing, Lee Pace, Sally McLeod, Zolo Maraduena, and Maisie Williams, kind of like in like a Brady Bunch grid.
Yes.
Right? So this says, exclusive, Oscar winner Diane Wiest and Oscar nominee Stalker Channing are set to return for Practical Magic 2, Warner Brothers Pictures sequel to the 1998 romantic fantasy starring Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. The pair reprised their roles as Aunt Jet and Aunt Franny, the eccentric and wise matriarchs who took in witch sisters Sally, played by Sandra Bullock, and Gillian Owens, played by Nicole Kidman, following the death of their parents, and taught them everything they know about magic, mischief, and self-reliance. Production on the sequel is now underway, with Bullock and Kidman returning. Joey King has now locked down the role of Sally's daughter after being tipped as being in talks. Rounding out the cast, we have Lee Pace from Foundation, Maisie Williams from The New Look, Zolo Maraduena from Blue Beetle, and Sally McLeod from The Dead Don't Hurt. Character details for the newcomers are under wraps, as this is the plot of the sequel, to be released in theaters worldwide on September 18th, 2026.
I know Maisie from, right, Game of Thrones.
Right, yes.
And Lee Pace was in, not Lord of the Rings. He was in like The Hobbit or something like that, and
That's what I've heard,
he's
but
a
I
tall
don't...
drink of water.
I've never seen... Well, I've seen the Lord of the Rings, like the trilogy or whatever came out in like the early 2000s. Never saw the Hobbit movies, so I know nothing about him. So he's a new name and face for me.
Okay, yeah. He plays this like elf, of course, because he's got all that bone structure and those eyebrows, man.
Yeah.
Blonde wig, brown eyebrows. It's
But
a
I
look.
did see photos of him, and yes, you are actually exactly right. He is a nice, tall glass of water, and we're gonna talk about later on in this episode, we're gonna throw our theories around. Who do we think is playing what characters? So we're gonna get to that in a bit. But first announced last summer, the new Practical Magic movie is being directed by Susan Bier from The Perfect Couple and Bird Box, who Sandra Bullock also starred in. Akiva Goldsman, who co-wrote the original film, has returned to write the script with Georgia Pritchett from Succession. Bullock and Kidman are producing alongside the original film's Denise Deneuve. In a statement on today's castings, the Practical Magic filmmaking team said, 25 years ago, Sally, Gillian, Aunt Jet, and Aunt Franny flew off the pages of Alice Hoffman's beloved novel and into theaters around the world. And we are thrilled to bring the Owens family back to the big screen with Joey, Lee, Maisie, Sally, and Zolo joining the next chapter in our story. The enduring affection for these characters has been our inspiration to deliver the next installment in the Owens story to new fans, and those who've been with us since the beginning. Directed by Griffin Dunn, Practical Magic adapted the 1995 novel from Alice Hoffman. The story introduces Sally and Gillian Owens as sisters who come from a long line of witches raised by their eccentric aunts in a magical household. They must confront a deadly curse and their own powers when love and danger collide. The original film grossed over $68 million worldwide. That's all from Deadline.com. So yeah, that was the article that dropped that had everybody in a tailspin about this new casting and so excited that Stockard and Diana are returning because that was like the main question.
Linchpin. Yeah.
Right, because like obviously Sandra and Nicole were involved. They're both, I think, like executive producers on the IMDb page, right? They're both.
That's a lot of money going into this project.
Yeah.
It's
so so they were obviously part of the movie as Jillian and Sally again. But we were all asking that question, are the aunts going to return? I mean, they have to, right? Because if we're going off Book of Magic, the aunts are a big part of that conclusion to that story. So how could they not?
Yep.
So I'm really curious as to why it took them so long to give the sign on, to like give the okay, we'll announce it now, you know?
They know how to just give the little teaser, like a little morsel.
Yeah.
They must have taken a page out of your book because you know how to do this too. You're like, we don't give it to them all at the same time. We gotta just drag this out. They got a whole year and a half to do this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. They have us on a drip feed at this point. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So just giving us these little morsels at a time. And even still, when you look at the IMDb page, there's really nothing on it right now.
I keep checking. I'm like, did they add names yet to the characters that we already know, or the actors that we already know are on there? Nothing.
I was just gonna say that, like, they have the cast that has in this article all these actors that have just been announced as the cast. They have them listed on the IMDb page, but they don't have like who's playing what.
It's very sneaky.
Very sneaky. Right. So we posted this news article over on our Instagram story, and the responses, oh my God, I just want to read some of these because everybody is kind of like in the same, like, oh my God. Yeah. So at Alchemy of Avalon said, thank freaking goodness we have the aunts. Also, if Maisie is playing Antonia, that's amazing. Wish we had Evan Rachel, but Joey King was great and we were the lucky ones, so I'll settle. But again, we don't know. We don't know if Joey King is playing Kylie. We don't know. We have theories. We're going to talk about them, but we know nothing yet about who is actually playing who. Yeah. Next, we have at Universal Bookworm, who says, I'm so glad the aunts are coming back. They're who I aspire to be when I'm older.
Yes.
Aren't we all? We're all. I think I'm moving into my aunt's era.
Your Victorian woman inside you is very happy.
Exactly. Next, we have at Rosethorn Cottage, who says, I'd riot if they weren't returning.
Yeah. I think there would be a lot of very disappointed fans. It would be better if the aunts were just not in it than them recast.
I agree.
For me. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And then Mr. Johnny Mac said, Zolo is Gideon.
I can see that. We'll talk about who we think who is later. So
yeah, and then at Nicholas Avalon said, also, I have a sneaking suspicion that Maisie is going to be Kylie.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Oh, and then so I commented back. I said, check out Joey King's latest post on Instagram. Her hair is dyed red, insinuating that maybe Joey King is Kylie. Right? Because we know Kylie in the movie has the red hair. Nicholas responded and said, okay, so I'm definitely more okay after seeing the red hair and the cut. It's giving 90s. Yeah, so I think after some people saw Joey with the, the selfie with the red hair, some people were like, okay, I could see it now.
She's a stunning woman.
She is. I think the aversion to her off the bat was more so that she's Gen Z, and I think the OG fans don't want to see this pander to Gen Z. We want it pandered to us because we're the ones that have such an emotional attachment to this film,
Yes. Yeah. And Evan Rachel is technically the exact right age for Sandra Bullock, who's now like 60, right? To have a daughter of that age.
Yeah.
And exactly right. Like we want to see millennial women struggling with whatever decisions Kylie or whoever Joey's supposed to be playing, making. Like I understand pulling in new audiences. I get that. But millennial women are still going through what I'm guessing maybe we're going to see Kylie going through.
Yeah, time will tell. And then Andy M. Silva 15 says, oh, what happiness. Great, the aunties are back, and that Zolo and Lee are part of the cast is fantastic. I can't wait. And then the Town Witch says, I've been waiting for this news. And Extonary Journal says, Lee Pace? Oh my God.
Yeah. We had such little masculine energy in the first film, only two men, that were cast, apart from the townspeople. So having like thirst trap dudes in this Practical Magic 2 is going to be a little different.
A little bit. Yeah. Spiraling off of the Joey King love, hate, I guess, whatever side of the fence you're on. On July 11th, she posted a selfie of her new red-headed hairdo to her Instagram. Did you see that photo?
I did.
And
Yes.
she captioned it. Let's see. Okay, so she posted this as a carousel, right? So the first one was her just kind of like in the mirror, looking in the mirror. I don't know. But she's got Jillian's kind of red hairdo. Maybe Kylie grown up. I don't know. But she posted this as a carousel with the second image being a still from the first Practical Magic movie. The shot of a young Jillian and Sally walking up to the White House with their black dresses and their suitcases in hand when they first arrived to live with the aunts on Magnolia Street. So that was the second photo in her carousel. So let's talk about some theories here. Do we think Joey King will be playing Kylie, which is picking up from the first film because Sally's daughter Kylie had the red hair? Or do we think she will be playing Antonia, which is more in alignment with the books because Antonia was the one with the red hair in the books? Or do we think this carousel post by Joey King is more of an Easter egg and she will be playing a young Jillian in some kind of flashback? So I think now would be a good time to talk about some of these interesting theories. What do you think?
I'd prefer, because Evan Rachel's not coming back. So it's hard to say, like, who else would they get?
Right.
That this young, beautiful woman has like the gray Owens eyes. She's got like the stunning beauty, but this could also be young Franny if we get flashbacks for her, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
I think we talk about that a little later though. So I'm really thinking, I don't want to say unfortunately, because I like her.
Right.
I don't mind her.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be movie Kylie.
Okay, so we know that Joey King and Maisie Williams have both been cast. And at the time that Joey King posted this selfie, this was July 11th, we still had not gotten confirmation that Evan Rachel Wood was not involved yet. That came a couple days later when she posted something to her Instagram, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But let's talk a little bit more about Joey King and Maisie Williams because they're both, you know, these up-and-coming actresses. I mean, they both have a very extensive resume already in their very youthful career. But for those who might not be so familiar with them, here's a little more backstory around them. So Joey King, Joey Lynn King, born July 30th, 1999, is an American actress. She starred as Ramona Quimby in the comedy film Ramona and Beezus in 2010 and gained wider recognition for her lead role as a late blooming teenager in the Kissing Booth film series. And King received critical acclaim for playing Gypsy Rose Blanchard in the crime drama series The Act in 2019, for which she was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award and a Golden Globe Award. And
So she's got credentials. Like, I know
yeah.
she's getting a lot of shit, but girl has been recognized.
Right, yeah. And she also appeared in the films Battle Los Angeles in 2011, Crazy Stupid Love in 2011, The Dark Knight Rises 2012, The Conjuring 2013, White House Dawn 2013, Oz the Great and Powerful 2013, Independence Day Resurgence 2016, and Wish Upon 2017, as well as the FX black comedy series Fargo in 2014 and 2015. And she has since taken on lead roles in the action films Bullet Train and The Princess and the romantic comedy The Family Affair, and that was starring Nicole Kidman as well and Zac Efron. And she performed a voice role in Despicable Me 4 in 2024. So she's got a lot of movies, a lot of stuff under her belt already, and she's not related to Nicole Kidman, but maybe there's a little bit of nepotism or like a little bit of like, you know, it's who you know.
Taking you under my wing. We work
exactly.
together. We jive together. Yeah.
Exactly.
And maybe they haven't had as much contact recently with Evan Rachel Wood that she has with Joey King.
Right. So I think Joey might have already had a foot in the door with Nicole, you know, and Nicole being executive producer probably has a lot of pull and a lot of say in like who's having involvement in this film.
Sure.
So I'm sure maybe that had something to do with it. Next, let's move on to Maisie Williams. Born Margaret Constance Maisie Williams on April 15th, 1997. She's an English actress, and Williams made her acting debut in 2011 as Arya Stark, a lead character in the HBO epic medieval fantasy television series Game of Thrones. Between 2011 and 2019, she gained recognition and critical praise for her work on the show and received 2 Emmy Award nominees. Williams' other television appearances include as Shilder in the BBC science fiction series Doctor Who in 2015, starring in the British docudrama television film Cyberbully in 2015, and in the British science fiction teen thriller film iBoy in 2017. She played the central character in the comedy action drama miniseries 2 Weeks to Live in 2020 and portrayed punk rock icon Jordan in Pistol in 2022, a biopic about the Sex Pistols. Williams also voiced Cammy McLeod in the American animated web series Gen Locke between 2019 and 2021. So she's also got a lot of stuff under her belts for being so young. I wanted to talk about some theories. Okay, so this video, this is by a user, Kristen Jordan 32 on TikTok. And so they posted a theory that Joey King was actually cast to play a young Jet and Maisie Williams was cast to play a young Francis. So do you think, if that's the case, do you think we're gonna get Rules of Magic flashbacks?
I love this idea. I think that would be great, but then who's going to play Kylie? Because that's the whole goddamn book is wrapped around her. Macy has that stalkered deadpan eyebrow look. I love her.
Yeah, I think it could go either way, right? I think they would be great at portraying the aunts as younger girls from Rules of Magic if they utilize flashbacks that way. But yeah, I don't think they would make this big of a deal out of Joey King and Maisie Williams being cast if they weren't like the main characters of like Kylie. That's Book of Magic is Kylie's character arc, you know?
Yes, for sure. The other reason I like this casting, if they were to play the aunts younger, is because Jet is described as being like stunningly beautiful, right? When she's younger, that's what Joey is. She's got like the look. Yeah, but I don't know if we're going to be getting flashbacks. I don't even know if we're going to be getting a Vincent.
Right. That's another thing. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So we're going to discuss this theory a little bit. Do we think Joey and Maisie will be playing the aunts as younger girls via flashback? Derica Jade slid into our DMs with the following feedback. Derica says, "They're Jet and Frances. This I can live with. I was ready to throw hands over them replacing Evan Rachel Wood and the one I forgot as Sally's daughter in the name of Hollywood aging BS." And I responded with, perhaps it's just a theory, but I think it could make sense, right? If they used Joey and Maisie as, a young Franny and Jet. So then Lynn Alves wrote to us and said, "Are they playing them as kids? I hope they stay true to the book."
Wouldn't that be the biggest like wool over our eyes if they went through this whole charade, had Evan Rachel put out this post, and then we get surprised and she just comes out of the woodwork?
It would be nice to think that they were jumping over that many hoops to pull one over on. Yeah, but I don't know. Judging by the kind of salty post that Evan Rachel Wood posted on her Instagram,
right?
That's the case here.
Right.
So let's talk about that now, the Evan Rachel Wood snub. On July 12th, the day after Joey King posted her red-haired selfie to social media, actress Evan Rachel Wood, our original Kylie, beloved Kylie from Film 1, took to her Instagram stories to spill the tea on the WB's decision to not have her involved in the sequel. Shout out to Mallory for tipping us off to this info before any news outlet even got their hands on this, right?
Because her whole Instagram is private.
That's right.
Yes, so we aren't able to see, but apparently Mallory has hung out with Evan Rachel at one point. Her life is amazing.
Mallory's like, she knows everybody. She's friends with everybody. And that's why we love her.
About everyone.
She really does. So Mallory gave us this little bit of information because she's following, I guess, Evan Rachel Wood's private. She's able to see her stuff because she's friends with her on Instagram. So she gave us this very exclusive little tip before the news media outlets got to it, got their little grimy little paws all over it. It was a story, an Instagram story that Evan Rachel Wood posted, and it was just like, she just wrote a big block of text on a blank screen, kind of just explaining the lowdown. So she said, "I am getting asked about this a lot, so I'll just clear it up now. I was not asked to come back and be in the Practical Magic sequel." I like how she hashtagged it too, just to make sure that the people were going to see it. She said, "I offered my services, even if it was one scene or one line. I was told they are recasting. I am sorry to disappoint the fans. It was not in my control or my choice. I would have happily rejoined my sisters." So that's a bummer. But she said, "I offered my services." Obviously, she's an actress. That's her job. She's got to get paid. But like, there was also some speculation. Like, is she a diva? Is she hard to work with? How much did she want to get paid? Like, did she want there's like hearsay and people all speculating. So that news quickly spread like wildfire, and OG fans were quick to speculate the reasoning behind this, and we actually got quite a lot of DMs from a few listeners who were wondering if Wood had been blacklisted by Hollywood because of her ongoing legal battle with Marilyn Manson.
Oh.
And so the legal battle between Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson, this involves a defamation lawsuit filed by Manson against Wood, which he later dropped. Wood, who previously dated Manson, has publicly accused him of abuse. Manson denied these allegations and filed a lawsuit to counter her claims. However, he eventually dropped the suit, agreed to pay Wood's attorney fees. It was a whole thing. But people are speculating that because she spoke out against her abuser, Hollywood blacklisted her because I don't know what kind of pull Marilyn Manson has in the industry, but like maybe because she spoke out against his abuse, he told everybody to not hire her, or like whatever the case. That's the speculation that a lot of people are wondering about.
Yeah, I don't know if you have this in here, but I shared whatever this was, and I thought we could have had this beautiful full circle moment because her personal life is reflectant of what practical magic is, sharing with the world to stand up to your abusers, and the female empowerment of coming together and believing women. And, the DV is like, it's everywhere. Yeah. And it's just a shame that they missed out on that opportunity. But also I could see she knowing what this film is about, or at least the first film was about, and what she has gone through with Marilyn Manson personally, still offered her services. The trauma tied to that, she was like, I would still do this. I would still be in Owens despite what I've been through.
Exactly. This person on TikTok, this user, Helen of Joy, weighed in on the whole situation. And I think it's a lot of what you just said. Like this could have been a full circle moment. And she could have used this as an opportunity to rise above her abuser.
So can we talk about the fact that Evan Rachel Wood is not going to be returning for Practical Magic 2? She literally said she offered her services, even if it was just one line, and they informed her that they would be recasting. Like, what? That's really disappointing to me because she was so magical in the first film. And of course, she totally fits the aesthetic of the franchise, the vibe, the legacy, the aesthetic. And as she was quoted as saying, she would have been more than happy to rejoin her sisters. And I did find it strange that that was the specific casting that they mentioned in all the headlines. I'm just gonna say what I'm pretty sure we're all thinking. I hope this has nothing to do with her standing up to her abusive ex, because if it does, it's not only disappointing, but also extremely dangerous. We're literally talking about a cult classic that actually focused on women leaving abusive relationships. It was about power and survival. This could have been a full circle empowering moment. And instead, now this just feels a little bit off. But Evan, I want you to know that you will always be part of the Owen sisters and a very special part of our lives because of being in this film. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, so the irony, if that is the case, the irony is not lost on us, Hollywood. Like,
yeah,
it's just, if that is the case, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But I would like to believe that's not the case.
Right. And what's funny though is Nicole Kidman really ends up in a lot of movies about domestic violence. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw Big Little Lies with
I think I started watching that. I don't think I finished it, but yes.
She was with Alexander Skarsgård in that film, and he was the abusive husband. He's a hot dog if I've ever seen one. But Evan Rachel Wood played in True Blood with Alexander Skarsgård as well, which I thought was really funny.
Right. That's right. Totally
him holding the Owens women together, fucking them both over.
Yeah, so there was also some speculation in our DMs on Wood possibly being difficult to work with or having a reputation as being a diva, but I just want to make it very clear, this is all pure speculation. No one has gone on record and has said any of these things, so let's just please stop making this stuff up, right? Because it's all hearsay. I'm not going to assume that it had anything to do with her as a person. I think the studio just wanted to, unfortunately, pander to Gen Z, which unfortunately seems to be what all of these reboots are doing these days. Like, if you take a look at Hocus Pocus 2, aside from the three main witches, right, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica, and Kathy Najimy, they didn't ask the original cast to come back on that either. So I honestly think that's why Hocus Pocus 2 flopped so hard, because instead of making that movie for the OG fans, aka us millennials, they tried to appeal to the up-and-coming generation who have zero nostalgic ties to the original. And I think that's where they fell short. And I really, really, really hope that this same kind of pandering to Gen Z with the casting of Joey King and Maisie Williams, I really hope it's not an indication of the direction that the sequel is about to go. Yeah. And Kristina, please remind us of that dream you had, because you said you have prophetic dreams. So if that's true, I'm really worried now.
I think with as much money as it's being filtered into this film and all of the times they've gone on record saying, we know how special this is and we are going to try to do right by the original characters and their storyline. I don't see my dream coming true, but my dream was like I was standing in this plain ass middle America kitchen and like Sally comes in and she's got like regular ass hair. I don't know. And nothing was going on. Like it wasn't magical. It was just an everyday. Maybe I was just stepping into Sandra's like real life.
Okay.
Maybe I was astral projecting, like, don't fuck this up.
Oh wait, well I hope that's not the case. Like we're just hoping that, they don't mess this up. So some fans were okay with passing on Evan Rachel Wood. We had one person write into us to say, quote, she's too old to play a college age witch falling in love for the first time. Come on, y'all.
That's true.
That is
I did not
true.
think of it that way because she is supposed to be in college. Okay. I
Right.
can see that.
Yes. To that, I say you're absolutely right. Evan Rachel Wood is too old to play Sally's daughter, Kylie, now, who is college age. Evan is pushing 40. She's, I think, 37 to be exact. So she's not exactly college age anymore. However, I consider Evan Rachel Wood alumni of the first film. Like, they could have given her any cameo just to have her involved in some way if she wanted to be. And that would have just been a nice little sentimental touch to add to the new film.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is, they kind of missed the boat there.
Yeah, I think as fans, we would totally understand. We would be so fine with like bending reality or bending the script or bending the story to just see her. You know what I mean? In that world.
Right.
That would have filled the same little spot in our hearts, I think.
You know what would kind of be a slap in the face? Like, okay, so she offered them her services to, have some kind of part or cameo in the film, even if it wasn't Kylie. I don't know. But what if they did utilize like flashbacks and actually flashback to clips of young Kylie from the first film? So they didn't have to like hire her, but they just recycled old footage from the first film to have her in it.
Would they need her permission? Well, I guess not because Warner Brothers owns all that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how that would all work. I'm only saying this because I just watched Happy Gilmore 2 because like Adam Sandler craze in Westfield, New Jersey right now.
Everywhere.
But like, yeah, so me and Avi have been having an Adam Sandler movie marathon and the new one just came out this past weekend, Happy Gilmore 2. And he used a lot of like flashback clips from the first film. So I'm like, could they also do something like that for Practical Magic too? Like maybe we could see a young Evan Rachel Wood as Kylie in that sense, but that would be so messed up if they did that and not actually asked her back.
You mean like B-roll cuts of things,
Yeah.
like scenes that didn't make it in? Oh,
not even that. Not even that necessarily. Just like actual footage, stuff that was in the first film, just flashing back to certain things.
that would be so lazy.
Right.
That would be
yeah.
such lazy filmmaking.
It would be, but I mean, who's to say anything's possible? But I guess that's showbiz, kid.
That's Hollywood.
That's Hollywood, kid.
All right, so let's talk about the men who have been cast. We have Lee Pace, Solo McLeod, and Zolo Mereduena.
Yeah, so before we get into these theories and the who's who, I think it would be cool to do a little rundown of each, because if I'm being honest, I have not heard of any of these actors up until this casting announcement. But Kristina, you said you've seen Lee Pace in the Lord of the Rings stuff or the Hobbit stuff. And
I have a question.
yeah.
Does he not have a belly button?
If he does, it's very low. It's like probably right.
It can't be that low.
Why does he have?
Did somebody airbrush it out too
This might
much
be
in this
AI.
photo?
This might be AI. What is that clip from?
Does Lee Pace not have a belly button?
Yo, if he doesn't have a belly button, that means he must be like some kind of otherworldly being. I mean, look at him.
It says no, Lee Pace does have a belly button in real life. Somebody just like
They airbrushed it
fucked him
out.
over. Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck? I didn't even notice that. Good catch. But
I'm just double checking because that's fucking weird. Oh, it's very like smoothed over. It looked like it could be an Audi, but there's like almost nothing.
all right.
Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, so Lee Grinner Pace is an American actor born March 25th, 1979. He starred as Thranduil, the Elven King in the Hobbit trilogy, and as Joe McMillan in the period drama television series *Halt and Catch Fire*. He has also appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Ronan the Accuser, a role he first played in Guardians of the Galaxy and reprised in Captain Marvel. Pace earned a 2008 Emmy nomination for his portrayal of Ned in the comedy drama Pushing Daisies. Since 2021, he has starred in the Galactic Emperor Brother Day in the Foundation television series based on the stories of Isaac Asimov. That's Lee Pace.
Do you
Looking
have anything
fine.
about his, I think he's LGBT.
Is he?
I think so. I'll double
Okay.
check that.
I think
So,
I had a I had a TikTok video, I think a little later on, about somebody saying, "Oh my God, my homosexuality has been activated," or something like that.
okay.
So I think you might be right. I just pulled this right from his Wikipedia page, just like the first portion of his credits, but I didn't really go too far down the rabbit hole of,
No
his
worries.
personal life.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He is. So that can make casting a little like, oh wait, what's going on? Okay.
Could he be Vincent?
Right.
But the age, I don't think the age is there. But you never know.
Right,
They could
he's
always
like-
age up for a movie, to play a part.
Mhm.
Then we have Solly McLeod.
He looks like a douche nozzle. He looks
That's
like a
what I'm
bad guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's got the whole, like, okay, we'll talk about it.
Kind
We'll
of
talk about it in a bit.
Aryan looking.
Yeah. So Solly McLeod, born February 10th in 2000. Holy shit, he's young.
He is young.
Is a British actor on television. He starred in the ITVX miniseries Tom Jones in 2023. In Tom Jones, McLeod stars alongside Sophie Wilde and Hannah Waddingham. His films include Jericho Ridge and the Viggo Mortensen Western film The Dead Don't Hunt, both in 2023, and Last Swim in 2024. McLeod had previously had a role in Outlander. He has been cast in an upcoming project titled Beach Boys. In December 2021, McLeod portrayed a World War I soldier in the music video for Minute Taker's song Lead You Home. So,
Interesting.
yeah, very interesting. I'm
Not saying he's not a handsome man.
he
He just
has a-
looks like he could play a very good bad
villain. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know where you're. I think picking up what you're putting down. And then the last new male casting we have on this list is Romario Zolo Ramirez. He was born June 9th, 2001, also very young, but he's known professionally as Zolo Maraduena. I guess that's his stage name, what he goes by. He's an American actor. His roles include Victor Graham in the NBC drama Parenthood between 2012 and 15, and Miguel Diaz in the Netflix action series Cobra Kai between 2018 and 2025, and Jamie Reyes in Blue Beetle in the DC comic superhero film Blue Beetle 2023. All right, so those are the dudes. Let's talk about the characters that these men would be portraying. So first, we have Ian Wright. In Alice Hoffman's Book of Magic, Ian Wright is a character who is both a historian of magic and a practitioner of it. Though he walks the path between light and darkness, he's described as someone who has always been drawn to magic, influenced by his mother's own magical practices and the books about magic that helped him through difficult times. He grapples with the left-hand path of magic, trying to avoid its darker aspects while still being drawn to it. Ian's academic work centers on the history of magic, suggesting a deep knowledge and interest in the subject. He is described as someone who has experience with the left-hand path of magic, which often involves more powerful and potentially dangerous magic, and he's trying to avoid succumbing to it entirely. His mother does have an influence over his magical abilities. She has her own magical abilities, and the books about magic she gave him when he was younger play a significant role in shaping his interest in the subject. And then he is shown wrestling with the temptations of the darker side, as evidenced by his experience in a bar for those, quote, on the crooked path, and his subsequent hexing.
Doesn't
go
he
ahead.
get hexed by Tom? That's how Sally finds him, so he must have they were in a bar and bumped into each other and they knew each other and then he got hexed.
I don't remember that exactly.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
he's naked on a bed.
Right.
Right?
Oh,
With the feathers and the ink and all the shit. And
you're right.
they're like, whoa, he's naked.
Wasn't he like rigor mortis?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't
rigor
he starting to
mortis.
he had a bad reaction to, I guess, the hexing, and they had to snap him out of it, and
Yeah,
Sally
yeah.
came to save him and all. So I guess, yeah, that forms his connection with Sally, because she basically saves his life, right? So she uses her sight to help him after he's been hexed, indicating a potential future relationship or partnership. So that's basically the rundown of Ian's character. Then we have Tom Laughlin. Tom Laughlin in the Book of Magic is portrayed as a resentful descendant of a family ruined by a curse stemming from his ancestors' actions against a witch and her ally. He's a destitute man living in the crumbling Laughlin Manor, seeking power from his ancestors. He is described as someone who has a complex relationship with magic, yearning for it, while also being scorned by the townspeople for his family's past. He is seen as potentially vengeful, and Kylie, a descendant of the woman his ancestor wronged, is seen as a means for him to achieve that vengeance. So, just a little more backstory on that family history. Tom Laughlin is a descendant of the man who, in the past, had a witch, Rebecca, placed under a curse, and also had her friend Hannah Owens burned for witchcraft. So there's Tom Laughlin and then there's Thomas Laughlin, because back in Maria's day, right, the 1600s, Thomas Laughlin was Rebecca's baby daddy, right?
Husband?
Yeah.
Husband.
So now fast forward to today's day and age, the descendant's name is Tom Laughlin. So I guess the name got passed down through all those generations of men?
Yeah. Okay. So they're not related because Maria was the daughter of Robbie and Rebecca. And
That's
Tom
right.
is the husband who she had put the spell on initially and then was like, whoopsie daisy. Right?
Yeah. And then she actually ended up running away with Maria's real father, the pirate or the guy on the
Robbie.
horse or whatever. Yeah, Robbie. Yeah.
It's like a play, like a actor.
I need to read this book again, for real. So yes, present day, Tom Laughlin, the descendant, lives a desolate life in the ruins of Laughlin Manor, seeking power from his ancestors' history. And while the book mentions that he yearns for the power of magic, he is also ostracized by the community for his family's past actions. And Tom is described as having a bitter resentment towards the townsfolk for their treatment of his family, and he is portrayed as someone who might seek revenge. And he sees Kylie as a means to potentially carry out his revenge, as she is a descendant of those that his family had wronged, Maria's family. Did you have anything to add to that little bit there about Tom Laughlin?
I don't think, in my mind, there's no question that that young man, Sully, is going to be playing this guy.
That's what I think too. Yeah, I think
yeah.
you're right. And then lastly, actually not lastly, there's two more prominent men in this book. So we have Gideon Barnes. So in Book of Magic, Gideon is a significant character. Gideon also made an appearance in Practical Magic, the first book, as Kylie's childhood friend, but then he becomes her eventual fiance. Is that true? Is that right?
Yeah, I just think their friendship, like they were just besties growing up, and then they were like, I guess we like each other, and I don't remember them getting engaged.
Me either.
I think she was keeping this relationship a secret from her mom because they're not supposed to fall in love.
That's right.
Right? And she's like blissed out. She's in college, but he like stays over, and I loved their relationship in that first book.
It was so sweet.
It was very sweet.
So sweet. So yeah, I guess through the years they had taken a liking to each other, and they're probably they felt comfortable with each other, right? They grew up together, so there's something to be said about that young love, and Kylie's just swept up in it. But then Gideon's involved in a life-threatening car accident that leaves him in a coma, and this prompts Kylie to seek answers about her family's magical heritage and try to save him, because now she's like, oh shit, the curse is really real. I should probably try to break it now. Gideon is Kylie's best friend, and this says her fiance. This might just be AI. I don't remember them getting engaged either. But it says Gideon and Kylie have a close, unspoken romantic relationship. Their bond is central to the plot, and accidental forces, or aka the curse, if you want to call it that, it forces Kylie to confront her family's magical past. His accident is the catalyst for the entire story, pushing Kylie to investigate the Owens family curse and her own magical abilities. So Kylie travels to London to find answers that could potentially save Gideon, highlighting the depth of their connection and the stakes involved. And while the exact nature of Gideon's relationship with the Owens family, it's not very detailed in the provided, this says the provided information, but I guess you could say the book, but I mean, he does have kind of a relationship with the Owens family, because we saw, like, he grew up with Kylie, so he's probably, like another son to Sally, probably,
Agreed. I really like those scenes, like in the pizza parlor or whatever, where he and Antonia are like arguing, and
Like
he's
siblings.
like, I think you're wearing my shirt, and it says like, I'm a virgin on the back. It's cute. Like, he's part of I'm sure you had kids growing up that were always at your house that just lived in your neighborhood, and like, they're just part of your family. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So him being in a coma, he's the reason why Kylie travels to London and tries to finally break this family's curse. But you know what kind of sucks though? Whoever ends up playing him, which I believe is going to be Zolo, because he's probably the youngest cast member that we're talking about here. It just sucks that this is his like breakout moment. I mean, he's got stuff on his resume. He's got credits under his belt, but I feel like this might be the first thing that puts him on a mainstream pedestal, with Practical Magic being this huge cult following. he's probably going to be confined to a hospital bed the entire film.
I know.
You know?
Unless we get flashbacks of their love together and
Yeah.
we see that's what's driving her. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I've never heard of him.
Right.
I haven't seen him in anything. Not really how I was picturing Gideon. I was picturing Gideon as this like kind of skinhead kind of kid, you know, just
Really?
like really rough and like just misunderstood.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see with this guy.
Guess we'll see. And then the last character that we really have to talk about is Vincent Owens, right?
Ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, so in the rules of magic, Vincent Owens is the youngest of Susanna Owens' 3 children, brother to Franny and Jet, and the only son, according to the Practical Magic Wiki. He's known for his charm, his good looks, his musical talent. He's also a powerful wizard, though, and though he initially struggles to understand his place and powers, and his sexuality, right? Unlike his sisters Franny and Jet. So a little more detailed look at Vincent. He's described as incredibly handsome, with black hair and gray eyes, inheriting the Owens' distinctive features. He's also taller than his sister Franny. His personality, he's very charming, creative, charismatic, but he's also very immature and reckless, and he's used to being adored, especially by women, and is somewhat spoiled, and he's a bit of a free spirit and enjoys playing guitar and singing. And while his sisters have specific magical abilities, Vincent's magic is more tied to his charm and ability to attract people, and kind of like bewitch them with his music, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's the only male witch born into the Owens family, and he initially struggles to understand his power and his purpose. So as far as his role in the story, Vincent is on a journey of self-discovery. This is rules of magic anyway, so this is like more of Vincent's origins. He's trying to find his place and understand his magical abilities, and he deeply cares for his sisters. He's close to Franny, and the book explores his struggles with his identity and finding the meaning of his life. But later in his life, in the Book of Magic, it's revealed that Vincent faked his death to avoid the Vietnam draft. I mean, they talked about that in Rules of Magic, because they had to like hide him away in like France or something, right? Yeah, so he dodged the draft, went to France with a man named William. He also has a daughter, Regina Owens, who he has with his cousin April, right? Though he doesn't know about her until later. So that's all kind of like his origin story from Rules of Magic. And then in the Book of Magic, which is what the film is going to be based on, it's more of like bringing Vincent back into play, kind of like, I don't know, like acting as like a navigator of some sort to kind of like help navigate through Essex and all these like...
Yeah. I don't remember if William is alive anymore. I think he's trying to find his way as a widower.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think that they're going to bring Vincent back into this. I think they're going to put it on the ladies. The ladies are going to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, they don't need a man to guide them kind of bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a shame though, because I think they had an opportunity, if they're trying to be inclusive, I think they had an opportunity to put a spotlight on the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, I would love that. It's still early. I really hope they do more casting.
Yeah. And I know a lot of our LGBTQ plus listeners were just vying for Vincent to come back and like having a voice for their community, you know? So
that's why I'm like, is it Lee? Is it Lee Pace? Because technically, okay, we don't know the aunt's age. You and I have done the math, which technically puts them, they're not that old. They're like early 60s, but they're supposed to be ageless or whatever. So Lee Pace was born in the 70s, right? Yeah. How old would that make him?
Well,
now?
Okay, we're going to do the math, okay?
Okay.
So now that we've reviewed the actors and the character profiles, let's talk about our own personal theories of the who's who. But first, here's a clip from the IG account of Blakely Thornton, who weighed in on Lee Pace's casting. Okay. So do you remember this guy talking about it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody shut the up. Homosexual emergency. I repeat. Homosexual and also female living being emergency. Okay? Lee Pace has been cast in the sequel to Practical Magic. Grab your britches, bitches. It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. As Lady Gaga would say to the
like
gays. Barbara.
Hold on, I want to...
He's already
You're
enchanted.
gonna watch it? All right.
He knew Celine was gonna be the thing 3 years ago.
He's
Was that
already
just an
enchanted.
excuse to point to his underwear? Yes, but I digress. I have so many questions. Who will he play? What will he say? Will he be gay? All meaning Wiccan in three-piece suits? Sandra
Who
Bullock's
will he
love
play?
interest?
Will he say,
Who's
will
gonna
he be
kiss?
gay?
Pray to the altar of Nicole Kidman's sparkly AMC commercial suit. We don't have functioning democracy, but baby, we got movie bliss. Because you know what? Heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Roll credit.
My God, so funny. funny. Okay.
So there's that video. So steamrolling off of like all these theories, who's gonna be who? I'm gonna say that hands down, Zolo has to be Gideon. The actor, Zolo, was born in 2001, putting him at 24 years old, and that's right in line with Kylie's age bracket, that college age, right? So I think his age kind of gives him away, like who he's gonna play. What do you think?
I agree. As far as the three men we have now, we'll start there. Yeah.
Yeah. And next, I'm going to say that Solly McLeod, Tom Laughlin, hands down. If the studio is typecasting, which they most likely are because it's Hollywood, let's take a look at that photo of Solly that I have included above. Like, first of all, he's a British actor and he has quite the resume of playing those kinds of roles. Tom Jones and even in Outlander, there's like an air of antiquity about him. And even though he would be playing the more present day descendant of the Laughlin family, he still has that like vibe about him, and he totally looks like he has that villainous thing about him, right?
He's like trust fund kid.
He's a Chad.
He could be a Chad. Yes.
He's definitely a Chad. And then lastly, I'm going to say that Lee Pace has to be Ian Wright. Lee was born in 1979, putting him at 46 years old, more along the lines of Sally and Gillian's generation. And also knowing what we know about Ian, I mean, his body is loaded with tattoos in the book, right?
Yes.
And would you agree that Lee Pace has the muscular build for all those tattoos specified in the book?
Got a big canvas to put them all on.
Front and back.
Okay, yes, he could. I see him. Yes, Ian. Ian all the way. 46. He's only 46. That's still like 20 years younger than Sandra Bullock, isn't it?
Right.
Isn't that interesting? Which I'm all about the younger guy. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
so
I feel like that's what they're going to do.
Sally's robbing the cradle a little bit.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right.
I think Lee is going to be Ian. That was my initial reaction when I saw the news. I was like, oh, we have our Ian because he's tall. He's got longer hair.
Yeah.
He's handsome.
Yeah. And not Lee, not the actor, the Ian, the character. He was also British, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lee Pace British?
I think he's Australian.
Australian? Okay, well, he could play a Brit, right?
He could. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Why can't Ian be an Australian in Britain?
Right. And that's another thing. Like, if he were to play Vincent and age him up, that is also, I know there was a lot of speculation that Lee could possibly be playing Vincent, but I just think he's way too young. I mean, they could age him up, but I think he's way too young. And anyone who plays Vincent would have to be more in line with Stockard and Diane's age range, because they're, going back to the book Rules of Magic. It specifies, this is a quote, "The children grew up quickly in the last years of the 1950s.
Yeah.
So I don't think Lee would be playing an older role, unfortunately. I don't think they would pull a stud, right? Hot off the grill and giving him an old man role. I
don't think so.
Happening.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that makes me kind of sad if they are doing away with Vincent, because I know Kristina back in the day, or the earlier days of the podcast when we were like kind of like having these discussions, back when we were still theorizing about a Practical Magic 2, who would be playing Vincent.
Yeah.
And you were talking about, unfortunately, he has since passed away.
Right.
David Lynch.
David Lynch.
David Lynch? David Lynch. Stephen Lynch? What's his name?
Mr. Lynch of Twin Peaks. David Lynch? Stephen Lynch. You know what would be an out of left field? I don't think Billy Zane is old enough to play Vincent, but that'd be cool. But you know who would be great? Jeff Goldblum.
Oh my
Jeff Goldblum would be fantastic. He would be,
Oh, there it is.
I don't know. I just love him to bits.
Do you think that he would be a little too dry humor? Because like Vincent's like dark and brooding, but I also think Vincent
like suave. I think Jeff Goldblum's goofy motherfucker.
Oh, he is a goofy motherfucker. He is also very suave. Yeah. But I think he might be too silly to be Vincent. Yeah. I think Vincent takes himself a little too seriously.
I'll have to think of some other older mans now that are quite attractive. I don't know.
Yeah. And I was always also, he might still be too young, but I always had like Justin Theroux in my head for Vincent, but I think he also might be too young. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh. You know who might be good is Colin Firth.
Colin Firth.
Colin.
I'm trying to put a face to the name.
This man's.
I don't know. I think his features are too light.
They're too bright?
They're too.
Okay.
Vincent's got like that darker air of like
Okay. Let me
mystery
keep
about him,
looking.
like an
Ooh,
edge.
what about Viggo Mortensen?
Does he have an edge?
It's Viggo Mortensen.
He's got heterochromia, right?
He does. Yeah, he showed up in that episode. Okay. Okay, Vincent, Viggo. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope we have a Vincent.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
There are so many actors in their 60s now. That's crazy. I'm cool if he's salt and pepper. That's fine.
And he's got to be American.
Ooh, who's this man's? Who's this guy's?
Ooh, who is he?
I
What's
only
his
know
name?
him from an Angelina Jolie movie, something Borders, Across Borders, Crossing
Is
Borders.
he old enough though?
Let's see. Who does man's? Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen, you?
He was in P.S. I Love You.
No, that's a different guy. That's
Wait.
Gerard Butler.
I always get those two confused. Wait.
Clive Owen was born in 1964.
Okay. So how old is how old is Clive Owen? He's 60 years old. That would put him right in line. He is our Vincent.
Nailed it. Okay.
Nailed it. I like
We'll
that.
have to put up like a little layout casting cube. Like here's who we would cast.
Yeah.
Clive Owen.
Owen.
You can get it.
He would have to hide his accent though, because Vincent's American.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. He's what is he? English. Yeah.
He could be William.
Wait, is William's also American, isn't he?
No, William's British, isn't he?
Didn't he meet William in New York?
Oh,
We have to read this book again.
we'll just watch the
Anyway.
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the movie might not be
Accurate
exact
portrayal.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. Like, that's another question that's like just like boggling my mind is if reports are claiming that they're going to stick very closely to the Book of Magic, but we also had a first film that didn't stick to the first book at all, how are they going to meet in the middle somewhere?
I don't know, because apparently the curse is broken. How are they going to like tie in Sally's little spiel at the very end?
Yeah.
With oh, whoopsie, it's not broken. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So going back to the whole Lee Pace thing, there was this article posted from the TVinsider.com titled Lee Pace reveals new details about Practical Magic 2. Quote, what a privilege. And that is a quote directly from the horse's mouth. This one is written by Morgan Pryor. This was posted July 24th. 2025 at 1:13 p.m. And this says, there are some things we know for certain. Practical Magic is getting a second life, and Lee Pace is one of the latest additions to the coven. Along with a few other new and returning faces, the Foundation actor will star next to Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, who are reprising their roles as the witchy Owen sisters. The 1998 original follows their characters, Jillian and Sally, as they deal with a family curse that destroys any chance they have at love. It was adapted from author Alice Hoffman's book of the same name. The sequel movie's exact plot details are still being kept under wraps, but according to producer Denise Denovi, it will draw from Hoffman's 2021 follow-up to Practical Magic, The Book of Magic. Though readers might be able to take a stab at which character Pace will be playing, the actor told TV Insider that info is under lock and key for now. Still, he was able to offer up a few details. He says, I can say that we've started filming and it is as cool as you think it is, Pace told us on July 17th. A few days later, Kidman gave fans their first glimpse of the sequel, which rolls into theaters next September. In the clip, the Owen sisters appear to be hugging over two gravestones. It's really a lot of fun, Pace added. The actor counts himself among the cult classic's legions of fans. Quote, I loved how chill the movie was, Pace gushed. You know, Sally and Jillian were both so cool and the witchy elements were... There's no CGI, like the spells were spells. I love that the calling tree, I guess he means the phone tree, equals all of the neighborhood ladies standing around with broomsticks in their hands. It's great, it's brilliant. And based on the comments made by Denovi, fans can likely expect the sequel to share the original's vibe. We're cognizant to how important those characters and that movie are to so many people, she told EW. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. And Pace's excitement extends to working with his new castmates. Though both he and Bullock appeared in the 2006 crime drama Infamous, they didn't have any scenes together, but that won't be the case in Practical Magic 2. Pace says, "I mean, what a privilege to work with Sandra Bullock. It's not lost on me how lucky I am to share scenes with her." So,
what a healthy masculine man.
right. So his words in this article are causing some speculation amongst the fandom. Like, we actually reposted this article to our Instagram feed and we had some interesting comments roll in. The Witch Muse said, "He's got to be Ian since he's speaking about having scenes with Sandra specifically, but we don't know how far they will deviate from the books either. I still can't believe this is happening."
Right.
And Break UV Dawn commented, "Vincent!" So we have a Vincent, a vote for Vincent for the Lee Pace role. So I am still sticking by my theory, though. I think Lee Pace is way too young to play Vincent. But then here's another thought. Do we think that they are going to include Vincent's character at all? So far, there have been no, quote, elder men casted, not publicly anyway. The cast on IMDb is still very minimal. The only people who are on the IMDb page are the actors that have already been made known in the media and we have already discussed all of them on here today. So I'm curious if they are planning on doing additional casting for more principal roles. I would assume Vincent would be considered a principal one, don't you think?
Yeah, agreed. I'm also noticing no Aiden Quinn. So I know they keep saying those two headstones, like there's two headstones. I feel like that's just where this like person with the phone was standing. And like I said, I feel like they're going to open with that cemetery shot. Aiden Quinn, Gary Hallett's already going to be dead. They're opening with a funeral. Like that's it. That's my bingo card right there.
My bingo card.
My bingo card thought.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that clip that's been making its rounds, the behind the scenes clip. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. But first, we're going to get into some hot takes. So we have this video, this clip from @Tevaholic on TikTok.
If they fuck up Practical Magic 2, they will incur the wrath of every millennial witch in the country. Matter of fact, every witch, period. From every generation. Do not fuck up this movie. I want it to be earthy, I want it to be witchy, I want it to be fall. I do not want modern social media, Gen Z, whatever the fuck. I saw that Joey King was casted. Don't piss me off.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. So this in from Yahoo News, this article titled, "The new Practical Magic teaser has fans making a ton of demands." And this is by Chase Sanders, posted on Saturday, May 10th. This says, "Grab your broomsticks and get ready to whip up some midnight margaritas because the new Practical Magic teaser just dropped. Last year, witches and warlocks alike received the best news ever. After 26 years, Practical Magic is returning with a long-awaited sequel. The 1998 movie starring Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman has been a cult classic ever since its premiere. And with both stars confirmed to be returning as everyone's favorite witchy sisters, fans are already buzzing with hopes and predictions for what the second installment might bring. Earlier this week, Warner Brothers dropped the first teaser for the Practical Magic sequel along with an official premiere date of next September. And in the clip, Nicole can be heard casting a spell saying Tooth of Wolf and Morning Dew, followed by Sandra Bullock adding something old and something new. Let the spell begin to mix, they say together, September 18th, 2026. So with over a year to go before we return to the witchy coastal town of our dreams, fans flooded the comment section with some serious demands. So here's just a few of our favorites. The first one, it better have the same warm and whimsical 90s aesthetic as the original. Stevie Nicks better be on that soundtrack again. Please, please don't over-modernize this. Bring back Nancy Meyers vibe. Make cozy, warm movies again.
Yes.
Yes. The daughters in this are old enough to be the new generation of this family, and Sandra and Nicole need to be the old aunts. That would have been a cool dynamic if they did that, I think.
I think that would have been the only way to accompany not having Stockard and Diane. Like, if they weren't able to do it, then let's roll in Sandra and Nicole into this matriarchal Victorian womanhood.
I like that. And then the last demand, of course, there better be midnight margaritas.
Woo!
So while the comments are packed with both excitement and high expectations, it's clear that fans want the same cozy, nostalgic vibes that the original film did so well. And it's not uncommon for reboots to often fall short of fan hopes. But with both Kidman and Bullock returning as the Owen sisters, we've got high hopes for Practical Magic 2. Well, okay. But like Sarah Jessica and like Bette Midler and Kathy and Jimmy, they were also in Hocus Pocus 1, but that still fell short because they're pandering to Gen Z, people. That's where we're falling short. And I don't think Hollywood realizes this.
Yeah.
So this article finishes by saying, in the original movie, the pair are born into a family of witches and raised by their eccentric aunts who teach them how to embrace their magic powers. As adults, they had to confront an evil ex-boyfriend in the heartwarming take of sisterhood. More than 2 decades later, we can't wait to see the spell the sequel casts next. So that's the end of that article. These are some more hot takes. This one comes from bishop.mortimer on Instagram.
Why is it so hard for these iconic-ass witch movies to just have some of the returning cast? I'm so excited for the sequel. Don't get it twisted. Evan Rachel Woods wasn't even asked to come back to Practical Magic 2. Like, why is it always these witch sequels that do us the most bogus? Yes, I'm looking at you, Return to Halloween Town. What the fuck was that, Disney? And yes, I'm passionate about some shit I'm gonna watch anyway. However, and you know the sequel to Practical Magic got the budget because Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman ain't coming back for Penny. But it's like, come on now. And yes, I'm looking at you, Hocus Pocus 2. Because years later, yes, I'm still mad about that. Grateful for these 3 icons returning though. But y'all swapped out these icons for some Hot Topic witches? Like, how do we go from this to this? Don't get me started on how the sequel butchered the essence of the character. I stand 10 toes down that these are not the same cannibalistic kid killers. Like, you can never retcon for me that book wasn't given to her by the devil himself and that the book betrays her, a book of pure evil. But I just want a witch sequel movie that honors its OG cast and doesn't make changes it doesn't have to.
In their caption, they say, why do witch movie sequels always forget the real magic that was the original cast? No Evan Rachel Wood in Practical Magic 2. No Max Allison or Danny in Hocus Pocus 2. A whole new Marnie in Return to Halloween Town. These new writers need to stop ghosting the fans who grew up on these stories. And that, I have to agree. That's exactly what's happening. And that's what upsets the fandom.
Yeah.
And then Little Gold Dust Woman, aka Haley, one of our OGs, she posted this over on her TikTok. And this is a whole bit about her wanting Stevie Nicks' involvement.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, what we're all waiting for is the next, like, confirmation of involvement. That would be the next keystone, I think, in this, in this whole thing.
Agreed.
You know, the Practical Magic fandom is kind of in an uproar over casting decisions and whatever, and I'm hearing Joey King this, Evan Rachel Wood that, and I know that we are all having a lot of discourse, but for me, the most important thing that I am still waiting for with bated breath is the announcement of the involvement of Miss Stephanie Lynn Nix. Because one thing that I think that we all can agree on is even though she was never in the movie, visibly, she is, in and of itself, a character in that film. And her involvement in number 2 is absolutely critical, vital for its success. We did already mention that Alan Silvestri is back on to do the score. He was the one who did the score in the first movie. But I don't think, again, that we can argue about the fact that the instrumental version of Crystal plays throughout the whole movie. I know that the actual song plays towards the end, but the instrumental is literally sprinkled throughout the entire film, making it, in my opinion, argue with the wall, but it's basically like a secondary part of the score. So Stevie needs to be involved. There is no spirit of Practical Magic without Stevie Nicks. And I know that she said that she was ready and willing. Warner Bros. Anytime that you're ready, because I think we are. Thank you.
So on July 18th, Nicole Kidman posts a behind-the-scenes footage to her Instagram account. And this is the scene of Jillian and Sally in the cemetery. They're embracing each other. It looks like they're standing in front of a headstone, some arguing it's 2 headstones. It looks like this could be springtime. There's like flowers in the foreground before the camera pans over to Jillian and Sally.
And they're short sleeves.
Yeah, like bright purple flowers, and there's also some pastel color hydrangea-looking flowers in front of that. So whatever scene this is, it looks like it definitely is taking place in spring. And we know from previous reports that this film is going to be closely based on the Book of Magic, the 4th and final book in this series by the amazing Alice Hoffman. At the start of this book, it is disclosed that Gary has since passed, but it is not an event that Sally is currently going through. It seems like she had already done her grieving, but she's kind of just like going through life now.
True.
It seems to be something she had already experienced during that passage of time somewhere between the end of Practical Magic Magic and the beginning of Book of Magic. So could this be Gary's funeral scene? Probably not. This could be just her visiting his grave, which is something that she maybe probably would be doing on a regular basis. And this could just be a casual visit on maybe the anniversary of his death, just to establish kind of like a plot point for viewers so that we know Gary has passed and that Sally is now a widow yet again. So that's my theory about this scene. What you said before, right? Like maybe we're starting on on Gary's funeral. I don't know.
Right.
But another possibility, this could also be right after Jet's burial. On the very first page of the Book of Magic, chapter 1, Alice writes, quote, "On this day, when the daffodils had begun to bloom, Jet saw that she had 7 days to live." So in the book, Jet did in fact pass away come the beginning of spring. So this scene with Jillian and Sally could very well possibly be shortly after Jet's passing, or maybe at her funeral, you know? It looked like they were resetting.
Does that mean we're gonna meet more Owens family from like Maine and the Berkshires? Because like that's where the daughters find out that there's a curse and Sally's like gaslighting them.
That's
You
right.
know? So we're gonna meet more Owens family, I hope.
We might even meet April. Who knows?
Oh. What if Joey is April?
You think so? I don't know.
No, she's too young.
She's
too young.
She's too young. I don't think she would be April. She could be, wait, who? April? Regina. That's Sally and Jillian's mother.
Yeah.
So that
The flashback like list is endless. Like they could do so much.
Yeah, they really could do so much. So going back to this clip, it looks like how Sandra and Nicole are kind of embracing each other. It looked like they were resetting the shot to do another take.
Yes.
And Sandy and Nicole are kind of embracing pretty much through this entire clip, right? They don't let go of each other. They're hugging, and it looks like it's for the scene, like they're acting, but then like they're kind
It
of
cuts and yeah.
Yeah.
Do you notice that Sandra is hugging her the same way with like her hand behind her and on her shoulder, the same way she hugged her in the scene where she realizes like Jimmy's inside her? She hugs her like that same way.
Okay, and I did not notice that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. So yeah, it looked like they were resetting to do another take, and they're embracing through the clip, and we reposted Nicole's clip to our Instagram, and we got a comment from Nicholas Avalon who said, "Did y'all catch Sandra saying, quote, 'Get those tears out, we got a lot of work to do'?"
Tears out, we have a lot of work to do.
I didn't hear her say that.
She says that. So it looked like they were really crying and getting really emotional, and it sounded like they were getting scolded because Sandra goes, "Shh," and then the lady in the background keeps saying, "Let's go again, let's go again."
Yeah.
Right? So, and then another man yells, "We're rolling." So they were like kind of like resetting for another tape. And then, did you notice this? We got another DM from Grandma847 who pointed out in that clip, I zoomed in. Can you see that picture? What is on Nicole's right arm? Is that a tattoo? Is that a snake tattoo?
It looks like a snake tattoo. I can't remember what arm it's in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she says, "I need to watch PM1 again because I don't remember it being that prominent. This is too exciting." So if this is true, this totally kills my theory from our snake episode where I said Jillian no longer needs the snake tattoo when she's no longer controlled by Jimmy.
I know. It's a tattoo though. Like
I know.
I don't think they're gonna. It would be cool if she was like, "Oh yeah, got it removed." But
Yeah.
I think that defeats the story. My eyes went to the watch/bracelet that Sally wears because she wore that through the whole first Practical Magic.
Did she?
Yeah.
I didn't
Because I always
even-
wanted like a little delicate watch like that with a little leather band and a small face. So that's the only reason I noticed.
I like your segue because guess what we're going to talk about now?
Fashion.
We're going to talk about the fashion in this clip because this is the very first behind the scenes or clip of anything pertaining to what the girls are wearing in this movie, right?
And thank God Jillian has a fringe. Thank God they brought her bangs back because it's perfect.
Both of these dresses that they're wearing, Nicole is wearing kind of like, this is very modest for Jillian, right? But she's also older, so we do have to take that into consideration. And she was going a little more modest. Well, that was my next thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this could be a funeral scene. And also at the end of the first film, Jillian was starting to go in that more modest direction, right? She was wearing the cover-ups and like, you know, the
It's
long
gonna be so cool to see her fashion this many 26 years later.
Right. So she's wearing like a really pretty lacy kind of short sleeve logger dress that kind of like I guess goes almost down to her
Shin.
ankles. Yeah, shins. And then Sally's kind of wearing like a 3/4 sleeve. I don't know, what would you call this kind of dress? The Owen sisters are back. This is a fairly new Instagram account that just popped up. I'm not sure exactly who runs it. I'm not sure if it's somebody we already know.
If you know us, let us know it's you, please.
Yeah. So the Owen sisters are back, posted this, I guess the screenshot of them doing this behind the scenes shoot. And it says, day 1 of filming, and I'm already obsessed. Sally Owens is back, flowing hair, floral dresses, and that unmistakable quiet magic, pure nostalgia. Couldn't resist tracking down the dress. This dress comes from, I don't know how you say this, Rizzo? R-I-X-O. This is the Amina Carnation Slate Crepe midi dress. Okay, so I guess, yeah, it's called a midi dress, and this is what Sally is wearing in the scene. Okay, so this dress retails on the website. MyTeresa.com is where you can find this dress. Retails for $360.
God damn.
But it's on sale right now. It's 40% off, and you can get 10% off with a coupon code MYEXTRA10.
Goddamn.
And you can get it for $216 instead of that whopping $360 price tag. Still fucking expensive. Yeah. So that's final sale, no returns. The material is 100% viscose. It's dry clean only.
Viscose.
Wait, I've never heard of viscose. What the hell is viscose?
Do I want that on my body?
No.
Not for $300.
It's made in India. The design color name is Carnation Slate. It's kind of like a floral pattern, right? It looks like florally.
Carnation.
Zipped side, self-ties. If you're looking for it, it's item number P00960017. If you want to, I guess that's the SKU number if you're trying to find the item.
It'll be in our show notes with links. Come here to us.
We will
got
link
you.
everything. So that's Sally's dress, and then Jillian's dress is like that kind of like maroon colored lacy number. So Owen sisters are back, posted again and said after sharing Sally's dress, I had to find Jillian's too. Thanks to @stayweird_normal is overrated for tracking it down. And the stunning deep red lace worn by Nicole Kidman on the first day of filming Practical Magic 2 is the Doan lace pattern long dress, effortlessly magical just like Jillian herself. The kind of dress you'd wear while casting a love spell or attending the funeral of your sister's, I don't know, ex-husband. And this dress is available at therealreal.com. We will post that over in our show notes. Originally $345, but you can get it on sale right now for 50% off, making it $172.50.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Still kind of expensive though, right?
Expensive for a dress.
Yeah, but I guess if you're like wearing this to like a wedding or something, people probably pay more for bridal shit, you know?
Yeah.
The description of this actually says it's brown, but
it looks like a wine color to me.
Like maroon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is a lace pattern, short sleeve with crew neck, button closure at the back. So this says dresses by Doan typically fit true to size. It's 39% cotton, 33% rayon, 28% nylon, and the lining is 100%, again, viscose. What is viscose? I've never heard of that before. And then if you're looking for this, the item number is WDOEN 76214. So those are the dresses that they're wearing, the only bit of fashion that we've really had any sneak peek on thus far. But then also, did you see this? Joey King posted a photo of a custom ring of a tiger's eye stone clutched by pigeon claws.
That's a dope design.
You see that? How pretty is that?
It's very pretty.
So yeah, Joey, she posted that to her Instagram stories, and she added some witchy emojis like the triple goddess with stardust and a little cat, a heart, a crescent moon, and a crystal ball. And she kind of just like, posted about it, and I screenshotted it just so I had it. And I was like, because like, I don't know how many people are paying attention to these things.
Right.
Clearly the tiger's eye is the Jillian connection. So who knows? Is this another Easter egg? Will Joey King be playing a younger Jillian in a flashback? Or perhaps Kylie also has a thing for tiger's eye. Or maybe it was passed on. Maybe her auntie Jillian gave her this tiger's eye ring, Yeah. So many possibilities there. And then Joey then tagged the ring designer, and the designer is at Tessa Metcalf on Instagram. And here's a little bit about Tessa on her official website, tessametcalf.co.uk. So Tessa Metcalf is a London-based artist working in jewelry with an obsession for pigeons. Triggered by the recollection of a childhood memory, the humble bird became the perfect symbol for the neglected and the overlooked. Celebrating the common beauty of the everyday, a metaphor for an unjust class system that glorifies only the rich, all wrapped up in an escapist childhood fantasy of mythical birds and their feral lust for jewels. Tessa accidentally stumbled into jewelry making after teaching herself taxidermy on YouTube in her bedroom to make herself a pigeon hat.
What?
Yeah.
What in the world?
Love. Since falling in love with the practice, she has been developing her self-taught approach ever since. So this is a quote from Tessa. She says, "For me, being self-taught preserves the initial love and passion for a subject that I find the over-analysis of a creative education can sometimes destroy. I've never been told the right way to make something, so I make it up. When I have an idea, I work out how to create it myself. Sometimes I make things backwards, and I often make mistakes, but you learn from them, and I love the process, and I've never liked being told what to do." End quote. And Tessa's work is heavy in dark humor, and she embraces the irony of the luxury objects she creates. Working from something considered to be so disgusting, the foot of a dead pigeon, she takes the fantasy further by hand-making miniature rings to adorn the pigeon's own claws and painstakingly giving her vermin birds their own golden manicures. She draws parallels between the birds' instinctive desires and our own feral lust for jewels. So it says she seems like she's into taxidermy as well. She says, "When I first took my pieces to shows, people would pick up my rings and say, 'Oh, how beautiful.' And then I'd tell them that they were cast from a pigeon's foot, and then they would drop them in disgust and look at me with horror. And I thought, yes, it's working. The object hasn't changed, but the narrative has, and now it's no longer beautiful but abhorrent. This is what I want to question. The narrative people are given to believe. It's boring to make something beautiful, but to change how people look at something, that's interesting to me." End quote. So after reading books on making jewelry, many late nights working away at her bench, mistakes, burning her own claws, and building her dream into a reality, Tessa finally made the move to join a professional jewelry workshop in the heart of London's jewelry quarter, Hatton Garden. For the first time, she saw how real jewelers worked. Although thoroughly petrified at first, it was here that she watched the finely trained goldsmiths around her, and over time absorbed the knowledge of the trade and fine-tuned her own skills. In turn, a couple of these guys also learned to appreciate Tessa's instinctive and unconventional process. Tessa still works closely with Ryan Nelson, both learning from one another's very different styles. And the thing about Miss Metcalf is that she doesn't look like she knows what she's doing, but she does. And that's a quote from Marcus McCullen, a fine gemstone dealer in Hatton Garden. Her true passion for antique jewelry and respect for the craftsmanship and techniques of trade gives Tessa's pieces a timeless feel and the respect of a modern-day heirloom. Her provoking narrative is told by her playful choices of oversized precious stones, witty use of symbolic cuts, and her attention to detail of her beloved bird story. The pieces demand a closer inspection. They are both serious and humorous, fantasy and reality. She pokes fun at the traditions of her trade, and with every piece makes you question why it is that something is considered beautiful at all. And I'll leave you with another quote from her. She says, "I think it's important to retain a level of irony and humor when working with ridiculously expensive, emotionally charged, and essentially useless objects. They can bring such pleasure, carry messages of love, pain, and loss, and they hold our deepest stories and fantasies, and yet always are just a small and expensive piece of metal and stone." So I'm wondering if Jillian's tiger's eye necklace is gonna resurface or make another appearance in this film.
I thought we talked about we don't see her necklace after the car incident.
That's right. We don't. We don't.
So if they do, we're going to be looking. That don't line up. Where the fuck was that the rest of the whole Practical Magic 1, guys?
Right. Yeah. The Stinas are keeping an eye out for all these details, so they better not slip up. We'll be the first to call them out right here on Magnolia Street Podcast. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these filming locations, Kristina?
Well, we've been creeping on the cast social media. Both Joey King and Nicole Kidman made appearances at Wimbledon. The reports confirmed that both Joey King and Nicole were spotted at Wimbledon Tennis Championships in London, UK, July of 2025. This month that we are recording right now, more specifically, Joey King attended the ladies singles final on July 12th. So do they just hang out? Did they go together?
That's what it sounds like. Like their cast probably hangs out together and they're in UK for this extended period of time to, do all this filming and stuff. And I've been keeping an eye on Joey King's Instagram stories. She's going to markets, she's going to plays, and it's all in the UK.
Living her best life. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Yeah. So she attended this July 12th, showcasing her new fiery red hair, wearing a Ralph Lauren dress. And Nicole attended the men's single final on the 13th, the following day, supporting a classic all-white suit and straw hat, and was seen with Anna Wintour and Keira Knightley in the royal box.
Yeah.
Friends, fancy friends in high places.
Right, yeah.
On the IMDb page, it says London, UK, England, Warner Brothers Studios, Leavesden, Warner Drive, Watford, Hertfordshire, England, UK, which is the studio. ScreenDaily.com reported that, quote, for Warner Brothers, Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock will be at Leavesden for the Practical Magic sequel directed by Susan Beer. Leavesden is a residential and commercial area in Hertfordshire, England, located next to the northern suburbs of Watford. It's particularly known for Warner Brothers Studios, Leavesden, a major film and media complex. The studios were converted from the Leavesden Aerodrome, a former wartime craft factory and airfield.
Yeah, so I asked ChatGPT, let's speculate more on filming locations of the new sequel, because most of the Book of Magic, takes place in Essex, UK. However, here's another dilemma, right? The gorgeous Owens house was pretty much its own character in the first film, and it would be such a shame for it to be secondary to the fourth book's new, I guess, remote location. What are some ways that the new film could honor the house from the first film in a way that won't alienate those who didn't read the books and might be looking forward to the house reprising its role, especially for the fans of the first movie? Like, the fans of the first movie are gonna go to the movie theater expecting to see that house, and when they don't, they're gonna be very disappointed.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So ChatGPT responded with this. The Owens house is a character in its own right, a gothic beauty that's as iconic as the women who walk through its herb-scented halls. While the Book of Magic centers largely around Essex, UK, it would be a grave mistake and missed opportunity not to give the house its rightful screen time in the sequel. Here are some creative, cinematic, and emotionally resonant ways the new film could honor the house without alienating viewers unfamiliar with the book. Number 1. Opening or closing at the Owens house. Start or end the film at the original house in Massachusetts. Maybe Sally, Jillian, or even Kylie returns to the house after a long absence, lighting candles, opening the windows, preparing the garden, framing it as sacred ground. The rest of the story can branch out from there. And a bonus, use the house as a visual symbol for the legacy of the Owens women, setting the emotional tone right away.
I could see they have Jet's funeral. Maybe we don't really see the house. Maybe we see soundstage of the house, but then I could see them closing up everything, covering the mirrors, draping things over the tables because they're going to close up and go get Kylie's ass from the UK. You know what I mean? In that sense, maybe?
Yeah. If you think about it, they did have to do all that prep work prior to Jet's death. Remember?
Yeah.
So when Jet saw that premonition of her own death in 7 days, they had a week to prepare this house for this impending death.
Yeah.
Right. So
wait. Wait. No, never mind. He's not old enough. I was like, are we gonna get a Raphael? Because he shows up to the funeral.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe that's Zolo, but he's not old enough. Could you imagine?
Probably not. Yeah, no, I don't think it would be Zolo, but yeah, I'm wondering if they would, if Raphael is also going to be considered in this sequel.
Because why not?
Exactly.
Why couldn't Jetty have a little sugar on the side, you know?
Yeah, he would definitely have to be older, right? Yeah. The second thing that ChatGPT says that the film can utilize to bring the house back are flashbacks and mirror magic. And like the flashbacks are stuff that, you know, we've also talked about. So utilize mirrors or magical objects to create flashbacks or spirit visions that take us back to scenes within the house, either from the first film. That's what I said, right? Maybe they'll, you know, add clips in from the first film, or brand new ones that deepen the lore, like think like a younger Maria Owens appearing in the attic, or Franny and Jet's voices echoing down the hallways. Even like there was a scene in Rules of Magic where Franny had a spectral moment with Aunt Isabel's ghost, right? A looking glass or enchanted mirror that lets characters in Essex see or communicate with someone in the Owens house is another way that they could probably incorporate the house. Next is a pilgrimage back to Magnolia Street. In the second act, a character like Kylie or Antonia might need to return to the house for a particular reason. Well, in the book, Antonia's pregnant and she's kind of housebound, right? So she's at that house on Magnolia Street.
Right.
So if they're going back and forth between Kylie in Essex and Antonia in Massachusetts,
at the house,
Antonia would be at the house.
I know they're going to try to stay close to the book, but they're going to have to do so many other characters that don't have backstories, like the Reverend. You know, how Antonia kind of like hangs out with the Reverend, and Jet told him to like, hey, if somebody's missing, bake a pie. And he tells Antonia, and then that's how they get her home. It sounds like we're going to be missing a lot of original characters.
Yeah, maybe.
I wanted to say, I have an idea.
Yeah.
I think we need to, anybody listening who is over in the San Juan Islands, over Coopville, keep an eye on that bluff. Let us know if there's any signage going up, anything that's saying like building construction. We need locals because I know that's a public park. That's a public national park there that they built on.
Yeah.
So please, somebody in Washington, let us know if you've seen anything.
Someone's got to know something.
Is that house going up?
Something's got to know something. Even if the house doesn't go up, they're still on Magnolia Street. Like, that house is probably, they're not selling that house. They're in that house. That's their family legacy.
Yeah.
They're still residing on Maria's Island. Does that mean that they have to go film more center of town shots in downtown Coopville? Exactly.
Yeah, Coopville, let us know.
So somebody's got to know something over there. Some locals, hit us up, please. Let us know. Next, we have the use of the house as an astral anchor. The house could serve as an astral or energetic anchor for the Owens family. While characters are physically elsewhere, they might still, quote, return to the house in dreams, visions, or astral projections, reminding the audience that no matter how far the Owens women travel, the house is always home. So some imagery idea that it spat out is Carly walks through an unfamiliar garden in Essex, but suddenly hears wind chimes and rosemary, and then turns to find herself dreamlike in the Owens kitchen, or something like that. But like, I don't think they need to do that because, like we just said, Antonia is still kind of at the house because holding down the fort because she's pregnant, right? So she's not traveling. And then next it says architectural echoes in Essex. A subtle symbolic nod, perhaps a location in Essex, mirrors the Owens house aesthetically. Whitewashed woodwork, stained glass, overgrown herbs, a way of visually linking the magic across continents and time.
Don't bother.
Kristina's
Don't bother.
shaking her head no.
I don't want it.
No. This is saying that it would be a narrative tie-in. The Owens magic has deep roots in both America and England. This visual parallel reinforces the transatlantic nature of the family's history. And then lastly, it says one last spell cast at home. A final spell cast by the remaining Owens family, perhaps to protect Ian, Kylie, or the future of their line, takes place at the original house. This gives the house a pivotal narrative function while also satisfying longtime fans. And this says, cue the soundtrack, Crystal by Stevie Nicks playing while the candles light themselves and the generations gather in ritual. I don't know. I think they have a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross. Like, you know, I don't know how they're gonna pull this off, knowing that most of Book of Magic is in Essex, while still tying in that house and Magnolia Street and Maria's Island. They're gonna have to definitely do a lot of zigzagging, you know,
back and forth
2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about predictions now. I asked ChatGPT, do you think the film might utilize flashbacks and flash forwards so they can include more characters like Maria and Faith Owens, Samuel Diaz from the 1600s Magic Lessons era, and also some clips of Franny Jet and Vincent's childhood and coming of age from like the Rules of Magic book? And ChatGPT said, absolutely, yes, please goddess, yes. Using flashbacks and flash forwards would be a brilliant and narratively rich way for the sequel to honor the full Owens legacy across all 4 books while keeping the emotional core and fan favorite characters alive. And here's why it's likely, how it could work, and what that might look like. So here's
what if Zolo is Samuel?
Oh, well, maybe.
In a flashback.
In a flashback, maybe. So why flashbacks and flash forwards make sense? The Book of Magic is all about legacy, ancestry, and endings, and this novel is essentially the conclusion of the Owen saga. It reckons with the curse, the past, and what the future looks like for the next generation. And what better way to explore this than by literally showing the past and the future? Secondly, it connects all 4 books cinematically. The audience will span generations too. Those who only saw the 1998 film and those who read Magic Lessons, Rules of Magic, and the rest, flashbacks give each of these layers screen time without requiring exposition dumps. And thirdly, it allows beloved characters like Franny Jet, Vincent, Maria, and Faith to appear, even if only briefly. This satisfies fans who are deeply invested in the Owens family tree without needing to crowd the main plot with too many active characters.
Right.
So, how could they be used in the sequel? In a few ways. Number 1, spell-triggered memories. Maria, Faith, and Samuel Diaz might appear during a scene in which someone like Kylie is casting a powerful spell to undo or understand the curse. Maybe the act of working that magic unlocks ancestral memory, like showing moments of Maria's heartbreak and Faith's defiance, or even the moment the curse was born. So imagine that Kylie is in Essex, standing over an old stone altar and chanting, and then flash to Maria Owens, blood on her hands, whispering the first words of the curse to the wind. Like, there were kind of like flashes of Maria's face in the first film, like at the end, like when Sally thinks she broke the curse, and like we see Maria's face flash in that bright white light, right? Just a thought. And then it's also saying in Book of Magic, Jet's death is poetic and magical. Her passing could serve as a gateway moment for a visual journey through the past. As she crosses over, we might glimpse her as a child or watch her see her parents again, perhaps even Vincent waiting for her in some enchanted liminal space. Even though we know he's still alive. He's not dead, right? But doesn't she thinks Vincent's still dead at that point, doesn't she?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Or
does she get a letter from him? Somebody gets a letter from... Doesn't Vincent send a letter to somebody?
I don't know.
I gotta reread this book. Okay, so a vision... And then it says a vision of young Franny, Jet, and Vincent playing in the yard. Then adult Jet walks through the garden gate, turning back for one last look. That could be like a nice sentimental little, like, seeing her off to the spirit world. You know? It's so sad. And then, let's see, how many more of these are there? Intergenerational crossovers. It says the film might layer timelines in a dreamlike or magical way, especially if they want to include scenes with multiple generations interacting symbolically. Think Franny and Sally seeing Maria in a vision, or Kylie walking the same path that Faith once did, literally overlaying the two timelines for emotional impact. It says Faith walking barefoot through the woods, cut to Kylie walking the same path centuries later, and their feet stepping in sync.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
I can see
would
that.
be a cool thing to play with, those layered timelines, because Jillian seeing Maria in the Fens did kind of happen in the book.
I like that. I like that visual. That would be really cool.
Right. And then this said time loops or magical echoes. The Owens women are time bound but magic defiant. A clever screenwriter might use looping scenes, astral travel, or magical echoes to blur time, letting moments from magic lessons, rules of magic, and the present day storyline collide. Like a candle lit in the 1600s is still burning in the attic in 2025, and the flame holds memory, or something of the sort. The black flame candle, I don't know.
You know what I like is when they introduce what you think is a side character, and they kind of help lead the main character to go do something. And they never definitively say who it is, but you're like, holy shit, was that Maria? Like just like a sneaky little help, like a little push, you know?
I like that. I like that a lot. Kind of like a psychopomp, like a spiritual entity or ancestor even guiding the main characters toward their destation and helping them along the way. But like at the end, we find out that person never actually existed.
Was never there.
It's like Joy Visions from the thrift store.
Joy Visions, yeah, exactly.
And then lastly on this list, archival style clips. So to keep things grounded for non-book readers, the film could include short, dreamy archival style sequences of younger Franny and Jet, maybe even Vincent, either as flashbacks or as spells playing out like memories. And just a final thought, if Practical Magic 2 is aiming to be more than just a sequel, if it's a legacy film that ties up the family line and breaks the curse, then these time-jumping techniques would not only make sense, but they would be emotionally devastating in the best way possible. Flashbacks would let us revisit our favorite witches while moving forward with Kylie, Antonia, and Ian Wright in the present. So yeah, there's some additional talking points. If you want to take a look at this list, if any of these talking points interest you, we can talk about any of these if you want to.
Yeah, I think it does have the potential to go a little darker. Just because I didn't see Bird Box, is that what it was called? But that was kind of dark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So she's done it before. I think with this younger man's, it could be a little more romantic because Gary was such a grounding presence, and it wasn't about the romance, but it wasn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he didn't show up until halfway through. I don't know. And he's a handsome guy, but he's no Lee Pace.
Right. know? I'm thinking Lee Pace playing Ian Wright, and knowing the character Ian, if you've read the books, he's got this Indiana Jones kind of thing about him. And I could see him bringing some more adventure to Sally's life, you know?
He's a little more rough around the edges, not so predictable maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one, how does the tone of the Book of Magic translate to screen? This I'm a little nervous about because if we look at the 4 different books, Book of Magic, I think we both agreed very early on after reading that and starting the podcast, that one's more a little more Harry Potter-esque than the rest of them. And I'm just worried that on screen it might translate to abracadabra, Wingardium Leviosa, and like see sparks flying out of magic wands. And like, I don't want to see that.
The fact that Lee has already said in an interview there was no CGI, I hope that really resonates with like the producers, and they've already had this discussion that we're gonna keep it. Besides Sally's Amos Veritas spell, we didn't see, and I guess resurrecting Jimmy, it wasn't like flashy, it wasn't grand or anything. It was just very real. So I really hope they stick to that. Maybe the girls are a little more polished and they've done a little more research, not looking their nose down at it, but I'm worried as well that it's going to be very hokey and very like, not to say that Sudbury was bad, but it was definitely more on that side of a little more cheese involved, and it has the potential to go that way, but I don't see it going that way just with the background of acting and the level of production going into it.
Right. I'm curious though, was Lee Pace in that interview, was he referring to the first film not having CGI or the new one not having CGI? That's what makes
first one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so who's to say? Because like, I mean, CGI, there's no movie in today's day and age that doesn't have CGI, even the ones that you think don't have CGI. So like that kind of worries me a little bit. And like also, everybody's talked about the use of technology. Like I know we're in 2025. Well, when does Book of Magic take place? Like 2022 or 23 or something like that?
Right. I think we're going to see cell phones.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to see them because even in Alice's book, she uses it. She uses, phone calls and stuff like that. We might see a computer in maybe Kylie's dorm room, So hints here and there. I don't know how we're not going to. Maybe even Bluetooth, like taxi drivers using GPS to get around. I don't know.
I know. It's just like, that's the thing about that first film. It was just like so timeless. And every bit of that movie was like in that house, which was like, if anybody's read the books, like, time doesn't exist time stands still in that house. And I think that's what everybody loves about it so much, is that it had that timeless appeal and quality, especially in today's like busy day and age with all of this like overload of information and phones in our faces and TV screens in our faces. Like I think people look to this film, the 1998 one anyway, to kind of escape from all of that.
Yeah, that film is so much more intimate because it's in one. You're supposed to be on an isolated island to begin with.
Yeah.
So we're going to see the Owens women outside their comfort zone, outside the safety of their home. And I think that's why the house is like such a like big characters, because 90% of that, movie is at the house.
Right.
So
I just hope it retains that cozy, ethereal vibe, true to the original. I hope. And I know, like, it's not 100% going to be that, because we know they have to venture out to Essex and, like, but, like, again, if you think about Essex, UK, that's, like, one of the oldest places. Like, Europe is
get Cozy Village.
Europe is so ancient compared to, Puritan New England,
We're going to get, like, ivy-covered stone fences and like little pubs with very cozy little things. I can see it. Yeah. I can see it. They just got to do it right.
Again, I hope it is more of that and less of the Harry Potter side.
I know. Yeah. We'll see a little more darker magic probably with Ian, or at least like darker studies maybe. I really don't give a shit if he performs left-handed magic or not.
Right. Yeah. I'm getting like Da Vinci Code vibes from him. Like if you've seen that movie or read those books at all, like Dan Brown does a really good job of, incorporating these little puzzles and stuff into his writing. And I loved the movie. I thought the movie translated very well. So hopefully it can do something like that. Yeah, I'm getting those like darker academia vibes from this book for sure. More so in Ian's realm anyway. Okay, so this is saying, will we see circle magic? I'm guessing this is alluding to the Circle of Brooms, like the phone tree ladies doing their work at the end of the first film. Will we see sparrows or bird motifs? We do get a hint of that in the original film in the scene where Irene comes to the aunts for the 10th love spell. Not only with the dove that they stab, but also the pin that they used to stab that dove. The handle of it kind of looks like that bird claw clutching a crystal, kind of reminiscent of that ring that Joey King was
Very
wearing
much so.
that we talked about earlier. So who knows? Maybe we will see some more bird motif, especially because we know that Franny has a connection with birds, and Faith and Maria, and that's kind of like, a through line through all of those stories. Through all the books.
I agree. Yeah, as far as departures from plot, I don't think they're going to have Antonia be pregnant.
You don't think so?
I think it's like a non-plot point because in the book world, we see her kind of relationship with the baby daddy. We don't see baby daddy in the films.
Yeah, what is his name? Scott something.
Morris?
Scott, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Scott Morris or Scott Morrison, only because I went to school with a kid with the same name. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to pick that up because we don't have Scott. And then we might see maybe LGBT in the sense of the lawyer who takes care of Jet's estate. What other departures do you think?
Well, we have not had any, again, like we said before, there are no elder men castings, so we might not get a Vincent.
Might not get a Vincent.
So we all have to brace ourselves for that one, unfortunately.
Magical innovation is not present in the first film. I think they will continue to have maybe a little claircognizance happening, things they just know. They just know.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna continue to give Jillian that ability to because we see her meditating a lot in the first film, and that very highly controversial, did she astral project? Did she really drive across country? She does have that experience in the Fens and Book of Magic, so she does have some kind of astral liminal ability. So I'm wondering if they are gonna give her more of that in this film.
Yeah, is Sally going to continue to smother down her magic like she does in the books? She still doesn't really want anything to do with magic until the very end when she's got to save her daughter. Yeah. Right?
Do we think Sandra Bullock is really going to shave her head for the end of this film?
I was thinking about that. I was like, she'd at least for the scene. I don't
bald
know
cap?
if she would shave it. Right. Are we going to see her in a bald cap?
What?
I don't know.
Do you think they're gonna because that's the ultimate sacrifice at the end that she makes for her daughters? Do you think she's gonna do that? I don't know.
I'm already preparing the tissues for if Stockard performs this, gives up her life with the book in the water, and the level of acting that woman has. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna be so sad.
And are we gonna see, because when she throws the book, she destroys the book, are we gonna just get 2 straight hours of her copying over the entire Book of Shadows into a Mead notebook?
Right.
And then also, because the book, when she destroys the book, it turns back into that toad or whatever that the skin was bound from, right?
Yeah.
So
I feel like they'd maybe film it the book just dissolves, right? And then we have a little scene because I think Sally and Ian are on the bank. Maybe the foreground has a little frog there or something like that, and then you see them in the background doing their thing. I don't know.
And then it just ends up being the spirit of Jimmy. You never got rid of me. We go together.
We go together to the airport.
To the dentist.
To the UK.
To Essex.
Take me with you.
Oh my God. So funny. Oh, man.
I think we'll get more Midnight Margaritas. I think
hope so.
The next generation is going to be dancing around the kitchen.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I think we're all vying for Stevie Nicks' return.
Yes.
Or are there any new musical witchy icons that could possibly be involved in this?
I think that Lana Del Rey has a very kind of spooky undertone, and so does Florence and the Machine.
Yeah. I know a lot of people were also vying for that song that Taylor Swift released this last year on the Torture Poets department, Who's Afraid of Little Ol' Me. If you read the lyrics to that is so Maria coded.
Exactly.
Because she sings, I leap from the gallows and I levitate down your street. Don't you worry, folks. We took out all her... or something. But something referring to the gallows, and everybody's like, oh, this needs to be in the Practical Magic sequel.
I think the Stinas need to be in the Practical Magic sequel.
I think you're right. And I'm still hoping and praying for that little Stevie Nicks collab. But I don't think that's going to happen because she's already signed on for a project with the band Haim. I don't know how you say it.
Okay. For this project or for
That's
something
what
else?
people aren't sure.
Okay.
There's speculation because they're both coming out with new albums. I don't know, either this year or the year that the film is being released. But they are in talks to collab on something. And Haim went on some talk show. I can't remember which one. I think it was Andy Cohen. I can't remember who it was. But they asked if it was for the Practical Magic 2 sequel. And they said,
we can't say much, but what we can say is that Stevie Nicks is the greatest human being on this planet. And
yes, and the song is
Really good.
And is it on the new album?
It's
not.
It's for something.
Okay.
Yes.
For a movie.
Sorry
a
to
movie.
be so cryptic, y'all.
We have to be cryptic.
The Smurfs movie.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Not that. Not that. But
It screams
Absolutely.
Smurfs movie, obviously.
I'm thinking they're pleading the fifth, and it is a Practical Magic collab.
I could see that. I
Anyway.
thought she had put out a statement like, I already have music that I want to submit for this project. Something like
Yeah.
very
Cryptic.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know there was that article a while ago that said she wants to be a part of this film and she wants to jump off the roof at the end and everything, but nothing confirmed. I don't know if anybody's like actually signed her onto the project, but knowing that there is kind of like a mysterious collab with this band Haim, and they've gone on record saying that we're not going to say it's for Practical Magic 2, but just gonna have to wait and see. I mean, that's a yes to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the artist Aurora also has a very ethereal, very kind of like spookiness about her. I wanted to say that the disappointment I have right now is we're not going to get a 2-sided DVD with all the bonus stuff on the backside.
Oh, yeah.
You know, which is kind of a bummer.
That is a bummer. But hopefully, I don't know, maybe they'll do a documentary about all the behind the scenes and like, you know, the
We just need to start collecting everything and make our own special edited version of all the behind the scenes stuff that comes out.
I like that idea. Well, I mean, that's kind of why we're doing the podcast, because we get to talk about all of it, right? And every single little Easter egg, every little bit, every little breadcrumb that comes out, collecting it all, making a log and just talking about it while it's kind of like we're in the throes of it. So then we can look back and be like, I called that one. I called it. I called it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So do we think we will get a roof jumping reprise?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Because doesn't the book end with Ian and Sally getting married?
Yeah, but I mean, they could do it for the movie, right? And like maybe they get married on Magnolia Street, maybe because like the first book ended on fucking Thanksgiving. Who cares
Wouldn't it
about
be cool if
Thanksgiving?
their wedding, if they were on the rooftop and they got married up there and the whole village was watching?
That's what I'm saying, and they do it on Halloween.
That would be cute.
That would be awesome.
That would be very cute.
And then she could say something like, you know, even though my last rooftop jump kiss was with Gary, now I guess I'll have to settle for this really hot guy now. Like what?
Marriage number 3. Here we go.
Oh my God, poor Sally. This woman has been through it.
Are we gonna get a Ben Fry?
Oh, are we?
We didn't even talk about anyone
The
for Justin, which is
rabbit
fine if she doesn't end up with anybody. We're
Yeah.
okay with that. We're happy for her. We're happy for a queen, but like that her fertility is kind of a big thing in the book.
That's right. Yeah. I guess we will just have to wait and see. There was another thing that I was going to comment on, but it went whoop. Obviously, there's not going to be a phone tree reprise because the kids are grown up now. I'm wondering, though, do you think they're going to bring back certain townspeople like Linda and Carla, Sally's OG BFFs?
I don't see them coming. If any townsfolk are coming to the back door, I feel like it's going to be in the beginning. It's going to be very snappy. Like maybe it's Jillian who's like, you hear a knock at the door and then she grabs something real quick and she's like, here, and like, I don't have time for you. I think they're going to try to pack a lot into this film.
Yeah. And probably no Irene anyway.
No Irene.
No Irene. She might be dead at that point because she's just driven herself so completely batshit insane that maybe she jumped off the bluff cliff and.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what else. Obviously, no Jimmy, no Gary, no Jimmy, no Gary.
Not as far as who is cast right now. We're gonna keep watching. You have a question on here. Will Essex look more like Sleepy Hollow or more coastal town? Is Essex on the coast?
I have no idea. I actually know nothing.
I think it is
about Essex.
Let's look it up.
And also, I don't know how big Essex is. Like, is this like a small town we're talking? Or like, is it like a small little quaint village town? Or is Essex kind of like a bigger...
I think it's supposed to be pretty large.
Okay, so there's probably like a lot of little towns within Essex, but I'm not sure exactly where they're going, you know? But I mean, if they want to go with that same coastal feel as the first film, maybe they'll keep it coastal.
It is against the sea, yes.
Okay. So yeah, maybe they're trying to stick with that coastal vibe that the first film had going for it. Maybe that's how they're going to rope in that cozy seaside feel, you know?
Yeah, I would love that. Oh, that would be so wonderful. It looks like it's a pretty big county. Yeah, county.
Yeah.
It's just above London to the east.
And doesn't Tom Laughlin kind of hold her hostage in like a castle or something? Or
They have that manor. So we're
Manor.
gonna maybe get some like dark academia, dilapidated castle kind of thing going on.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That would
Cool.
be kind of cool.
Give me all the ivy covered, leaded glass, huge thick doors. I want it all. The cornices.
Libraries and all leather-bound books and all that stuff. That would be cool. I think we touched on this a little bit before. Could we see magical realism techniques to tie all the timelines together? Probably through uses of like astral travel or dreams or all of that stuff. I think we already touched on that, so we don't have to go too far into that. So yeah, in a nutshell, I think there's a lot to ponder.
We will have much more news coming up in the next couple months through the fall. I'm sure they're going to be dropping a lot during spooky season. What do you think?
I think so too. I think that's like the prime time because at that point, they'll be exactly 1 year out from the film's release. So I think they're probably going to up the ante a little bit with all of the little, breadcrumbs and Easter eggs and stuff they're going to be dropping for sure. If not like the WB themselves, we're probably going to get little sneak peeks from like the cast or like, I'm keeping an eye on Joey King's Instagram stories, Nicole Kidman's social media. Sandy, I don't think has a social media, so I don't think she posts
Susan
anything.
Beer has one, I think. Susan
Denise Denovi,
WB
maybe?
puts stuff out. Denise has one, but I've only seen it for her artwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess the one thing we can praise Gen Z for is that they're always on fucking social media. So we might get some leaks from Joey King herself.
Yes. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. So I'm keeping a close eye on her stuff.
Are we following Macy? Does she have one?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she does.
I'm gonna go.
But I don't
while you
know.
tell us about this beautiful thing you've made.
Yeah, I don't know if we're following her. Yeah. So I know you guys have probably heard us tease this in a previous episode not too long ago, but maybe a month or two prior. But we made a Practical Magic 2 bingo card. And just so note, I created this way before this latest casting news drop. So some of these bubbles are actually already duds, like already proven wrong. So I guess let's just go through some of these and we can cross off the ones that have been proven true so far. So first we have Evan Rachel Wood as adult Kylie. So that, unfortunately, we can nix that one because that one has been confirmed to not be true. The next one is the Alan Silvestri film score. We got a bingo ship on that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then, that's what I was gonna ask before. Do you think there's gonna be an actual summer solstice scene? Because they tease it in the first film.
That would be really cool. Okay, so if we're in the spring and then Jetty dies and then all this happens with Gideon and then she goes to the UK, is this still springtime or are we heading into summer now?
Right.
Because that would be so cool to have like a
Stonehenge.
traditional pagan. Yes. Yes.
Stonehenge. All right. So I'm holding out hope for the summer solstice scene.
Yes.
And so obviously Sandra Bullock as Sally, we can put a bingo chip on that. A Gary flashback scene. Do we think we're gonna get some Aidan Quinn screen time with a first film flashback scene?
I don't think so.
No. And then also I have the next one on here is a Jimmy flashback scene. Are we gonna get some Jimmy flashback?
I would love that.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Probably not. This one I put on here before we before that behind the scenes clip surfaced. Jillian still has a snake tattoo. I think we saw that she does.
How can we mark this up on here? How do we do that?
I don't know, but maybe we'll have to find like a little cutouts of bingo chips and just like put them on top of each one. So I think Jillian does still have a snake tattoo, so we can put a bingo chip on that one. Stalkered as Aunt Franny, we can put a bingo chip on that one because that's been confirmed. Denise Denovi, confirmed. Bingo chip on that one. The Owens House rebuild, not CGI. I guess I think we're gonna have to wait and see about that one. We probably won't know until closer to production or any kind of more behind the scenes stuff coming out. Then on here we have Stevie Nicks bonus. That's a bonus square. So there's talks, but nothing confirmed yet. So we'll have to hold out for that one. This one we probably won't know until the movie comes out. A Midnight Margarita scene. Then in the center, our center bonus is Billy Flippin' Zane.
That was so funny.
Mega bonus.
I would lose my mind.
Didn't you recently post Instagram story that I don't remember what movie it was, but it was basically a movie with Nicole Kidman and Billy Zane, and you were like, Billy Zane, Nicole Kidman, they were basically in Practical Magic together.
Yeah, the 1 degree. Like, not even, it was a negative a degree.
Right.
I had no idea. I was following Zolo. Okay. Because Soli had reposted from the that Matt Gerber, whatever, article. So he only has 48 comments on it. So I commented as like, you have a whole Practical Magic fandom podcast in parentheses here on Magnolia Street. So maybe he see, and maybe he tell his friends.
Okay.
That's what I was doing, distracted.
I love when I see like a movie star only has like 40 something comments and you're like, okay, well the chances of them responding to me are pretty good because not overcrowded with bullshit.
Yeah.
So the next yo, I am holding out hope for this Billy Zane.
I know.
That would be so fucking funny. That would just come full circle for us, I think. Yeah. What the hell?
There's nothing we can't do.
No. Together we are sisters.
Salt and pepper.
The next bubble on here says no cell phones or overuse of modern technology. I really hope we don't see a lot of that.
So doesn't bingo work that there's multiple cards? We have to make multiple cards, don't we? Because like if everybody's hitting all the things, and there can't be a bingo winner or a bingo group of winners, you know what I mean? Because everybody's got the same bingo.
So are we going to give somebody a prize for this?
Why not? Why not? We need to make at least 2 more.
Okay. I put I'll give you access to the canvas so you can do the next one if you want.
Okay.
I'm sure there's things that I'm not thinking of that you probably like, hey, what about this?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So the next one on here is a Maria and Faith flashback.
You know, you and I are going to be the only 2 playing.
I know. Basically.
Maria and Faith flashback. Okay. All right.
I hope so. Griffin Dunn involvement. We can mark that one off. That's confirmed.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
He is he executive producer? One of the executive producers. And then also Linda and Carla. Do they still work at Verbena?
Are we going to get Verbena again? Do we have any scenes at the shop at all? Because in the books, she works at the library.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah. I'm wondering. Now, I'm wondering how closely to the book they're going to follow. Sally's working at a library. I'm wondering if she still has her Verbena shop. I hope she does.
Right.
And that would be cool if she was still friends with Linda and Carla, her OG BFFs. We can mark this next one off. Diane as Aunt Jet. That's been confirmed. This next one is, I am holding out hope, Stevie Nicks as Aunt Isabel.
That would be so cool.
That would just make my life. This next one, can you see, is this a Franny, Jet, Vincent as teens in Rules of Magic flashback? That would be cool.
I think it's just close. I think we have more chance of seeing their flashback than maybe a Maria and Faith, because that's kind of like,
you're probably right.
Back there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then Alexandra Artrip appearance, probably not, since we know that they didn't ask Evan Rachel Wood back, and Alexandra, she played Antonia, little Antonia, right? So since they're not asking, any of the old cast back, it seems, besides the main players, main women.
Main 4, yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen, unfortunately. The next one we can put a bingo chip on, Nicole Kidman as Jillian. Are we gonna get more brownies for breakfast?
More chocolate?
More chocolate? Yeah, I hope so. And then Halloween roof jump finale. I hope we can put a chip on that. That would be awesome. And then the mega bonus, the Stinas on the soundtrack. That would just
out of this world.
Out of this world.
It would be really nice if they could tie Halloween back in like they did with the first one, because it makes it, you can watch this film any time of the year. It's not particularly Halloween-y at all until the last 5 minutes of the movie.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be awesome if they could just have a little more autumnal vibes going on.
I agree. And if this film is kind of like, it naturally does have that more of like that dark academia quality, because the whole thing is set in like Essex, Old Town, UK. Like, I think it could definitely
rainy, foggy, spooky mist.
I think it definitely could have those spooky vibes, and especially with Maria's spectral ghost in the fens, and like, I think this movie could definitely go very spooky, and it would be amazing to have around Halloween time, maybe even more so than the first film. I mean, the first film, yes, autumnal vibes, yes. Spooky Halloween, maybe not so much, but I think they could go that route with this film if they wanted to.
I've been picturing, since we got this information, us sitting in a theater side by side. I would
holding
love
hands,
if we could film our
squeezing
reactions
each
at the
other's
same time.
hands.
I know. I would just be like mouth closed, hands over my mouth the whole time. I don't know.
Wait.
You
You would
never
be-
watch a scary movie with me, but I tend to hit. I tend to like whoever's beside me. I'm knocking the shit out of them, and
I know.
we're gonna need a seat between us. Is what
I
I'm saying.
saw a Rocky Horror Picture Show with you.
That's true.
I remember. No, I was gonna say your mouth would be closed. I would be mouth breathing so hard. My mouth would be wide the fuck open, like, like just panting at the screen while you're just like gasping for air next to me. That would just.
I would love to have the in-theater experience, but I also want to be able to record our reactions. And like, do we do the selfish thing and wait till it's not in theater so we record our actions, or just see it and then be able to come back to it
Yeah.
and talk about it? I don't know, because like we're definitely seeing this together.
We have to find some kind of inn where we have a VIP experience so we can report about it the way that we want to.
We both know how to use Photoshop and can make some press passes. You know what I mean?
That is true too.
Yes, I have been visualizing this since the beginning.
Yeah.
And like, I'm trying to picture these characters so beloved moving through scenes and having different dialogue. It just feels like such a not fourth wall break. What is it? What's it called? Where something doesn't seem right.
Uncanny Valley?
Uncanny Valley, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
An Uncanny Valley experience.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are my thoughts on that.
Oh man, the thoughts are just going to keep rolling. And that's what's awesome about having this podcast, is that we have a place to do just that. So if you guys have any hot takes, any input, we would love to hear from you. So please write us in at magnoliastreetpodcast@gmail.com, or you can slide into our DMs. We read those pretty frequently over on Instagram at Magnolia Street Podcast. And we're kind of on TikTok, not as much as we should be probably, but we're over there as well. But mostly Instagram and email are the best way to probably reach us.
Yeah. And if y'all would like to help support our podcast, here's how.
If you guys do want to support the podcast on Patreon, you can support us for as little as $1 a month. That's our seedling tier, and that gets you access to our patron-only polls where you get to weigh in on what topics you would like us to talk about next. It also gets you our monthly calendar so you can see what topics we have coming up for the month, and it also gets you a welcome shout-out on the show. Our $3 Lavender Bud tier gets you our show notes for each episode in an aesthetically pleasing PDF, our after hours posts, if there's any extra tidbits or behind the scenes info pertaining to any of our episodes, we'll post those along with a blog post or extra photos, and access to our specially curated Spotify playlists. We have created playlists for our WMSR episodes as well as Production Dream playlists for each song episode, and more. Our $5 Lilac tier gets you access to our private Facebook community where we host a monthly live stream. Plus, you'll get access to our Discord server where we host our monthly watch parties. And also on the Discord, you can join in on the discussion with other Magnolia Street neighbors via the various interesting channels and threads. And then here's the $8 Rose tier. This gets you access to extra audio-visual content such as a once-a-month full-length video episode, unlimited bonus videos, uncut footage, cutting room floor footage, bloopers, outtakes, meditations, exclusive interviews, and old home videos from the vault, or spell or ritual videos, and more. It also gets you bonus content to coincide with our song-episodes, such as full-length demo streams of our original Practical Magic inspired music, plus lyric sheets, guitar chords, and original scratch demos, or bonus video performances of our songs and more. Lastly, we have our $15 Wisteria Vine tier. Just like a twisting Wisteria Vine, there's a way for you to stay connected with us, the Stinas. In this tier, we invite you to join our private Marco Polo video messaging app. The app is totally free for both Android and iOS. Sign up with your phone number or email, and we will help you do the rest. This is a great way to chat with each other in a more intimate group setting, face-to-face via video recording. We love to show each other our pets, our gardens, or anything else you'd like to share. And just a reminder that the higher the tier you sign up under, the more rewards you get, because you get all of the rewards of the tiers below it. You can upgrade or downgrade or even cancel at any time. So to support the podcast, head to Patreon patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast.
Yeah, and there are additional ways to support us and our podcast that don't cost you any money. If you do listen on Spotify, please give us a star rating. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please give us a written review. We love sharing those on our Instagram. And if you're on Instagram, we would really appreciate any reposts or blurbs about our podcast. And make sure to tag us at Magnolia Street Podcast in your feed, posts, stories, and share us with your practical magic loving friends.
Yeah, and also don't forget that our new album, Welcome to the Neighborhood, the Magnolia Street Sessions Volume 1, is now out, available for streaming on all platforms. And if you'd like to support us directly, you can purchase the digital album from the Stinas of magnoliastreet.bandcamp.com. And we do hope to do a physical release in the near future, so keep a lookout for that. So that's about the whole of it for today, and I hope we could do one of these again soon, because I feel like there's been a little bit of a chunk of time between the last big news break and now.
Yes, this feels like, so when did we get the news?
June last year.
Oh my God. Okay.
Year.
When was the last time we talked about Practical Magic 2?
The last
Last year?
Right after that. Yeah,
Okay,
well, I
let's
think we've talked about it before we get down to business for our themed episodes, but not an actual episode dedicated to it.
I say we touch back in at the end of September.
Yeah, maybe you're right. They'll probably, if they're going to be a year out from that point, they'll probably be releasing stuff more
and then
frequently.
we'll probably be more frequently the closer it gets.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, we didn't say what we're talking about next week. Do we have
Because I have no idea.
specific we want to chat about? Maybe with all this movie news, it might be cool to focus more on Book of Magic right now. I know
we can talk about Essex Magic specifically.
Yeah, that might be good. Essex Witches. There's
Go
a
ahead, you can talk.
documentary on, I think it's Amazon Prime, about the Essex Witches.
Okay.
But I like that idea of the Essex Witches. That might be a cool spin-off from this one, since we're already talking about all that. Yeah, so I think that's all we have for you guys for today, for all of our PM2 news. And as the veil thins between past and present, it's clear that Practical Magic 2 isn't just a sequel. It's a spell woven across time. Whether we're walking the windswept moors of Essex or lighting candles in that iconic house on Magnolia Street, one thing remains true: the Owens magic endures.
As we await for more news, casting confirmations, trailers, sneak peeks, we'll be right here, speculating wildly, clutching our copies of the Book of Magic that we really need to reread, and whispering to the moon for more.
So whether you're a lifelong fan or just discovering the Owens family tree, remember, the past has a way of calling us home, and we can't wait to see what rises from the garden next. Hopefully not Jimmy's body.
Let's go together.
Let's go together. So until next time, witches, keep the magic alive. I'm Justina.
I'm Kristina.
And we'll see you next time.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you go?